Hello, everybody. Apologies for the technical difficulties. This is the first time running this, but not your first time seeing us here, so at least you got that to look forward to. I am QUIKHorizon and joined by Freight Cabbage. You might recognize us from the summer series that Skillquest ran just a few months ago, and we're going to be running it back here for their winter series. Freight Cabbage, how you doing tonight, man? What are we looking forward to today?
Yeah, looking forward to some really good Rocket League bot matchups. Of course, it's great to be back. It's always fun to watch the bots and see the different groups come together. Of course, we see a returning bot, General Iroh, that I've seen before. A bot that really impressed me last time I saw it in action. Did not win its tournament, however, was definitely a strong competitor and a strong, strong bot to watch. So I'm expecting hopefully some updates to that as well, not just the same bot as before. I think that the creator definitely seemed like they wanted to keep on adding more to that bot based on the performance there. So we'll see if that comes true. Besides that, a couple of bots, a couple of newcomers, some new members that were in the fall/winter portion of the course, and just didn't have it quite ready in time for the ARNG fall tournament or winter tournament. I don't know which one it was, just a couple of weeks ago. And so they're just doing this tournament now. We've got a few returners. I believe we actually have an international entry as well, based on what one of our admins had said. We have a bot from Italy. I don't know which bot it is, but that's gonna be really cool to see as well. Really interesting to see. All really cool to watch Skillquest grow from something that was just like a half dozen people in Minnesota now to a branching out into an international group. So it'll be fun to see. I don't think we'll see too much difference, how there's kind of the international play styles when it comes to Rocket League, but I think we'll see, some strong competitors regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully I'm not breaking up for the stream here. I'm trying to get the match started, and it is going to get started. Beautiful. Love it when stuff works just like you meant it to. I have been muted for you guys, so it was silent there for a little bit for you. Working out the kinks here on the stream. Apologies for that. But yeah, General Iroh and Bartimaeus both taking this on. Freight Cabbage, you mentioned that one of these guys is an international participant from Italy. Again, I unfortunately don't have it up in front of me because of having to reset my PC to get the stream started. I do believe that General Iroh and both Bartimaeus are participants from Wisconsin. Most of the participants in this competition are from Wisconsin. I know we have one Missouri participant and one participant from Italy, but this is something that is open to everybody from across the world. All you gotta do is get signed up to Skillquest, and you have the opportunity to participate. Not only is this a fun Rocket League sort of competition, this is a very real life skills competition where coding is something that, I mean, even if it's not something you apply directly to your everyday life, those skills and that general way of thinking are very solid. And it's super cool to see all of these young professionals kind of take on this challenge to learn more as Bartimaeus just decides to give one to General Iroh. I assume to keep it fair here.
Yeah, and I mean it'll be interesting to see this battle go back and forth early on here. General Iroh with a couple of goals in response to that early Bartimaeus strike. So I feel like for General Iroh, I just want to see the same bot or at least an improved
Right.
bot from what I saw last time. Like I said, a competitor I've seen before and a competitor who was definitely was really a good bot last time. I think it ended up losing to either to the champion or to a bot that was just all offense. So I don't remember which one it was there, but it'll be interesting to see. Of course, Bartimaeus, a competitor we're not too familiar with, but did strike early on this is not going to be a good attack back there. General Iroh should punish on this one. No, going to underestimate the post bounce there. General Iroh, however, is very good on possession. I've talked about this before, but bots that are able to hit it back towards their own goal without own goaling, very impressive, very difficult to do properly. And General Iroh, great example there, just sees that it's going to get beaten, but maybe a chance for Bartimaeus back the other way. No, that's going to be kind of guided away to the corner.
Yeah, so something that we noticed over the course of the summer series was the difference between the styles of bots that you generally see. You tend to see some bots that are very offensive minded. They're just kind of going towards the ball, doing what they can to get any sort of pieces. We see General Iroh going up in the air there.
Wow.
Almost puts that one on the crossbar. But yeah, you tend to see bots that go very hard just towards the ball like Bartimaeus is going to do right now. It's going to work out for him to tie this one up. But the flip side of that coin is bots that tend to play very defensive when the ball is at that midpoint on the field. They generally decide whether to go towards the ball or to leave it based upon the amount of boost that they have and the ball's position relative to where the bot is sitting at that midfield. A lot of bots tend to favor boost going all the way back, trying to get a hold of something. So you see General Iroh being patient, going to put that one on net, and that is just enough. But so far in this match, I'm very impressed from what we're seeing from both of these bots off the start here. General Iroh looking very strong.
Yeah, but I feel like Bartimaeus honestly has had a couple of chances. I think has given a few opportunities away. That one off the kickoff, definitely unfortunate. General Iroh doing a great job to read where that one's going to land. I didn't expect it to actually get such a nice touch there. See if it can read this bounce. That's a beautiful weight there. Just realizes it's probably going to bounce out towards the middle and does get it in. No, it's going to make its way in just barely after a little bit more contact there. But I mean, a nice back-to-back sequence here for General Iroh, and Bartimaeus just so close, but drives underneath it and misses that once more.
Freight, you and I are both pretty high-level Rocket League players, I would say, and this looks like us on the field. If I had to compare how we play based upon what we're seeing here, I'd say it's pretty close. And I would hope to play more like Iroh than I would like Bartimaeus. But game one here, definitely favoring Iroh. Something to keep in mind is that there were 17 bots, I believe, submitted for this competition, and we are only looking at the top 8 today. So earlier in the day here, Isidore, Alex, as some of you guys in the Discord know him, was running the bots off stream to figure out who would actually be able to contend for this tournament later in the day today. And the top 8 are what we're going to see here. And so far, this is very impressive. Definitely curious on how many of these guys had prior coding experience going into this, because at least compared to the summer league that we watched, which was very exciting, super hype in its own way, at least what I'm seeing so far, these bots tend to seem on a different level from what we experienced earlier this year.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about it too. We do have a mercy rule in effect if it does get to a 10-goal gap or a 10-goal win, which I mean we saw it a couple of times there. We saw a couple of sweeps, a couple of pretty dominant wins. But I mean we've already had one of the off-stream matches already went all the way to 3 matches, all the way through the full series and things like that. Now this one, unfortunately, another kickoff goal here for Iroh. And I feel like what I'm seeing on a Bartimaeus right now is it feels like the bot is struggling if the ball has any sort of elevation. We saw it kind of bouncing in its own box there, and it just drove underneath the ball. We've seen that at least twice now that I can recall. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing here is that if Bartimaeus can get some fortunate touches and keep the ball on the ground or keep the ball very low, as I mean, you see again right there, just doesn't jump into the ball. I think it'll do okay. But any sort of elevation, Iroh is more than comfortable going up in the air. So likely see Iroh continue to kind of dominate this series.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Especially in ranked Rocket League, that aerial control is such a dominating force for being able to climb in the ranks. I mean, just going from diamond to champ, it really comes down to being able to read the ball in the air. As you see, Bartimaeus goes for a wall dash. Iroh's going to give it to him, but what a nasty read up the wall. I'm pretty sure he dashed up here. He stops. No, it just boosted, gets on the ceiling, tried to get the read off of it, but kind of a tough one to figure out there for anybody. But yeah, that aerial dominance is key, not only in real Rocket League, but it definitely seems to be the factor so far here in this match. And I mean, yeah, just I wouldn't say the closest of matches to see Bartimaeus just try to leave that one there. But yeah, I mean, at least personally with my experience in coding in Python, I can't imagine trying to set up for every single use case that these bots are going to run into in their matches here. Whether you're trying to play more defensive or more aggressive, I almost have to imagine it's easier to code a more aggressive bot. If there's anybody that is in the chat that was participating in this competition, or if you have a bot that's in here, definitely let us know who the bot was, whether it qualified for the top 8, or if it's somebody who unfortunately got knocked out during. It wasn't a Swiss round they did, was it? I think that they ran a bracket.
I don't know, actually. Yeah.
Alex, Isidore, if you are in the chat, or if you want to shoot me a Discord message on what the format was in order to qualify for this top 8 here. I do know that they are competing not only for glory here, but also for bragging rights and some scholarships for their schools, I do believe, in order to compete.
Oh, wow.
Or not compete, but towards Skillquest programs and future coding endeavors. Yeah, a little bit of money on the line for each of these bots. So going 1-0, a great start there for Iroh. I don't know if Bartimaeus has what it takes. You had mentioned we might not have been live. It might have been broken during that time, but you had mentioned kickoffs being a very real thing that we need to watch out for and how they have decided games in the past. That doesn't seem to be the case so far in this series.
Yeah, it feels like there's just the aerial play is mattering so much more that it really doesn't matter, because anytime the ball is just bouncing even a little bit, that seems to be the real difference there. Of course, that kickoff almost into a dangerous spot, but I feel like the biggest thing too is that Iroh has done well to put the ball into a tough spot for Bartimaeus, just putting it out towards the middle, trying to send it away, and right there, a great shot from range. And once again, just being able to hit those open nets from range without much concern. It's different talking about bots, because with humans, when we talk about confidence to make that play, practicing and things like that, for these bots it's just execution. It's really just what do you set up to do, what are you told to do. So definitely shout out to the creator of General Iroh. Has always looked really good. I feel like we have not seen them miss many open nets, as that one almost a tight angle shot there, but misses that one wide.
Yeah, I think something to keep in mind with these bots, generally people nowadays tend to think of bots as AI, something that's trained on data, something that you feed into. Is Iroh can't help but put it on net there, ties this one up. But these bots are not trained on data or on models like you're used to. These are not to dumb it down, but essentially if-then statements that people are coding to put into this. These are people who either had some coding experience or even had zero coding experience before they came in and started taking the courses that Skillquest offers in order to learn how to compete here in this competition. And it's just so impressive to me to see the skill difference between, last time we were on stream, I believe they had 2 months, I want to say. Was it 2 months, Cabbage?
That one I think was only about 4 weeks, actually. Or you talking about the in-person one, or I don't know. Sometimes it's been as low as 2 weeks, I believe, once even.
I think, you might be right. I think it was 4 weeks or 1 month for the last one that I was a part of. So, yeah, I mean, to go from zero skill to this is incredibly impressive. And Skillquest leading the way all the way from beginning there. See General Iroh, nice little late flip there, held on to it coming off the wall, looking for Bartimaeus to get a touch out, but did not. What a great read there. This bot definitely could compete in Champ. It would not surprise me to see this bot take a couple wins in Champ 2, Champ 3 there.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see, too, what the other bots look like, because, of course, I have not seen any of the others, so we'll have to see what they look like. But it's going to be decided. I think aerial play will be a big part of what it comes down to. Also, like you mentioned, the kickoffs, I think the biggest thing there is if any of the bots have a fast kickoff. Of course, those of us familiar with Rocket League know there's kind of 2 tiers of kickoff. There's kind of just the standard one where you drive at the ball versus a fast kickoff where you're going to use some boost, you're going to flip at the ball, things like that. We've seen, I think, only 1 or 2 bots ever that have that. But, it is possible some of the players a little bit more familiar with the game, or at least look up what some other bots do, take a look and some inspiration. Really nice shot there, power shot by General Iroh from the midline, makes it 3-1 in this game too. And I think General Iroh should cruise to victory in this one. Looks like a little more of a well-rounded bot, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just something that we continue to see are bots that once they get control of the ball, they just look to put it on net, and that accuracy isn't always there. Generally, when these bots see the ball, they see the net, they just go for whatever the best touch they can get on it is to get it towards the net. But Iroh seems to have a level of accuracy that we haven't seen in the past. So definitely one to keep an eye on here. Of course, we have plenty more Rocket League to come for you guys. We do have 5 stream matches, unless if that gets cut down by 1 because my PC was slightly broken. But you know, for a round 1 match, this is looking really good. There's a kickoff strat for you. Just put it in the net to get ahead. Iroh up by 4 as we approach the halfway point. Obviously, no mercy rule in effect because that first match didn't get ahead by 10, but gotta be favoring Iroh.
I actually talked about the fast kickoff, and I didn't realize until now, but actually General Iroh does use at least a slightly faster kickoff. That one was a really quick one there. It got the kind of the angled
boost.
dash. Yeah, so really it's interesting to see. Just kind of, getting the side flip there, getting the, I guess, angled flip, I should say, which gets you a little bit more speed, and then all that boost behind it as well. So really good to see that out of the General Iroh side. And of course, there's the match off stream as well. So I think we're going down to the other portion, the bottom portion of the bracket next. So Bob the Tomato and Stardust. And I do have word, Stardust is our Italian representative in this one. So we'll have to see what they can bring to the table next. Is that's a little bit of a miss there. Unfortunately, Bartimaeus maybe a chance, but General Iroh does. Actually, excuse me, that was Bartimaeus' own net, actually, so good job by not scoring that one, I should say.
Messing with some audio stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you guys can hear the game audio in the background. If somebody in chat could let me know if that is coming through. Apologies if it's not as we work through the kinks here. In the first, I mean, at least my first stream, not being in person. But, I mean, this level of competition is definitely something to keep an eye out for. Compared to what we saw last time. Bartimaeus, again, both of these bots not prioritizing boost. What we really saw over the summer was bots not having 100% boost and deciding to leave the ball in order to get that boost to try to get that positional advantage. Versus these bots are trying to keep close to the ball, and you know, even if the other bot gets there faster, if Iroh gets there quicker than Bartimaeus can, at least Bartimaeus is in position to take that 50, which will block the ball and, you know, hopefully put it into an awkward position for his opponent and allow him to rotate back onto it to get some pressure going here.
Yeah, and what's really interesting too is I guess we don't see it too much in this one, but we've seen some bots before that are smart enough that if they're out of boost and if there is a long distance between them and the ball, they will dash at the ball. They will front flip, which of course does get you more speed in this game. You hit that double front flip, a demo coming out there. Bartimaeus taking some physical play in here. But what I find very interesting so far is I feel like you've seen the bots are actually using boost. They're just using it immediately once they get it. General Iroh actually doing well to the tank there, but we've seen Bartimaeus just go ahead and whenever it picks up boost, just burning it right away. And that's a big part of it too. Is does your bot understand when it's a good idea and when it's not so good of an idea to use the boost? Nice shot there, General Iroh. Tight angle off the near post, but puts it away and it just cruises to victory in game 2.
Yeah, this is a little bit too much to come back from. Obviously, if you're a pretty big Rocket League player, you know that you can get that pinch goal, or the 2 to 3 second goal is very possible to get off the kickoffs. But Iroh, like you mentioned, so fast off the kickoffs.
Yeah.
What did he do there to get ahead? Was there a speed flip or? No, just a little bit of a speed flip.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice with it actually. So I was kind of surprised last time I saw that one come through, and actually Bartimaeus last time did come close enough. I think it was the straight on. Of course, 5 different kickoff positions in Rocket League. There's 1 straight back, 2 on the diagonals, and then 2 that are just off of the center on that back row as well. So I think it was the one that was straight back, and so Bartimaeus got that extra 12 boost there that helped it get to the ball a little faster. But this time the slight angle there, and General Iroh adapts well. Almost an own goal there, looking for the pinch off the post maybe, but that one should wrap up game number 2, and the first match of the night on the stream at least will go in favor of General Iroh. 7-1 in this one, so 14-4 across the 2 games. A really nice series there for General Iroh, and really just kind of solid domination, I would say. I was happy to see we did get a save in that matchup as well. So
Right.
Bartimaeus tallying our first stream save of the night. As actually, I think we will probably keep all 5 on stream from what I'm seeing here. We're not that far behind, and of course, best of 3 is a little bit quicker. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see General Iroh. I don't know. We do know the competitor playing BillyBotJr, the bot that in the last series did clinch it in at game 3. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that next round. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that bot, so see if General Iroh can continue the reign of terror, or if maybe we got somebody to stop him there.
Well, so what were your big takeaways from that? We talked about a few things there about boost control, about shot opportunities and kickoffs. What I think Iroh kind of did everything there, at least in my perspective, just better than Bartimaeus was able to pull off. But was there anything that you noticed specifically, Freight?
Yeah, it's tough because I mean the kickoffs is a big part of it. Like I said, I mentioned aerial, anything in the air. If the bots know how to get off the ground and know how to kind of really make contact, at least in a direction, it doesn't really need to be exact, but at least in a general direction, that's a big help there as well. So. Bartimaeus struggling with that, General Iroh at least being confident enough to go up, or at least having the coding to be able to go up in the air and go for those touches that gives it a leg up. I want to say too, shooting from range. I mean, sometimes we see bots that try to dribble down the whole length of the field, and then they run out of boost because they use it right away, and then they're dribbling the ball off to the corner. They have no boost in the tank. The ball's going off to the corner. They can't do anything about it. But General Iroh, I feel like we always see the shots from that bot just going straight on net. It has no problem taking a shot from its own end or anywhere near the midline and just putting it straight on net, straight on frame. Doesn't need the extra boost, doesn't need to worry about that, and just it does well to capitalize on the opportunities it has, is what I'd really say.
Yeah, very true. Taking a look here, trying to get our next matchup. On your guys' screen, you can see the bracket as it's set up. Obviously, our upper semifinals match is already set up, but off stream right now we have Coolbot taking on BillyBotJr. Looking for Bob the Tomato on my PC here. Trying to figure out which one he is. I think it's this Bob. It's got to be this Bob. Definitely changed his name, but it's not taking it here. So Bob the Tomato taking on Stardust. Anybody that's in the MCS, you know exactly what we're thinking about when we say Bob the Tomato. It is not that Bob, though. We did confirm. Slightly different Bob going on. Just based off the names, Cabbage, you wanna play some bets on who you think will win this next match before I hit start here?
I mean, I gotta go with Stardust. I think that's quite the. It's a very inspiring name. There's a lot of different ways you can take that, really, but I think it's just a little bit of a cooler name. I'm sorry to Bob. As being Freight Cabbage with my name, the produce, I do appreciate Bob the Tomato, but unfortunately, just off cool factor at the beginning, I gotta go with Stardust.
You kind of almost convinced me to switch to Bob there. I think the Produce Boys would go a little hard, but we came from Stardust. We returned to Stardust. I also got to go to Stardust as somebody that has no idea about anything of either of these two bots. But the Produce Boys is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I mean, of course, a little throwback history for you guys. A long time ago, there used to be a very common desk pairing of myself, the Freight Cabbage, alongside a gentleman named Grape. So, really, kind of a fun little throwback there of the produce section. That's what it was always called. It was a good time. But regardless, into the second one here, Stardust using a very interesting card. I don't even know what card that is. I feel like usually we see players using either the Octane, which is the most standard one. That's kind of the one in the logo for Rocket League. Otherwise, we'll see a couple other cards. The Dominus is one that's pretty similar to what Stardust is using, but really an interesting card choice here. See what it looks like, because I guess I will mention this as well. For those of you not too familiar with Rocket League, the car actually does affect a lot of the characteristics. Most of them are pretty minor, like turning radius and other things like that, but the hitbox is much different. So a lot of the times, I believe the Octane hitbox will be a little bit shorter than whatever Stardust is using, and Stardust will be a little bit longer, a little bit more stout, we'll say.
Bob almost reading that one off the ceiling. Stardust looking for a touch, not quite able to get it on his own net. Stardust doesn't care where the ball is, whose net it's looking at. He's going to go for it. A great pinch there by Bob. What a great read. Predicting the ball not to bounce off the wall. Decides to leave it. Unfortunately, leaves too much space. And yeah, I'm not sure. It's not the Aston Martin. Probably a Dominus hitbox, but that's definitely something I'm curious about, is how much the programmers are considering their car's hitbox, and I almost wonder if that makes the Merc a better car. For those of you that don't know, the Merc is just essentially a big square, so that's more surface area as far as I can think of.
Yeah, I believe we did see a battle bus in one of our previous competitions. I don't know which one it was. We've seen a few interesting choices. The battle bus is the one I can really think of, and that one actually did pretty well. I feel like just, the big thing is of course the 50s, the 50-50 balls, both bots just driving straight at it. You have a taller car, usually you're not going to be able to get it, your opponent won't be able to get it up and over top as Stardust. Nice recovery on this one, goes off the sidewall, puts it up the edge of the net there, and really good recovery to go around and finish that one.
Yeah, what a nasty little touch.
That one might have been a little lucky.
Well, we'll take it. We'll take it. I mean, not only did he read it off the wall, he popped over Bob in order to get the edge of his car, just to barely push it towards the net. That was rather impressive there. But see Bob trying to get control in the corner and not quite able to. Stardust, free open net. These are where the bots need to show that they can shine, and Stardust is going to seal that one. Up by 3 with 3 to 10. We might see our first mercy rule here, Cabbage. I don't want to jinx anything for the produce section, but I got a bad feeling here for Bob.
Yeah, and it's really tough because I feel like Bob has not been a subpar bot. I feel like it's been a very solid competitor so far. Just Stardust really accelerating on this one, really, being able to be a little bit more aggressive. And you talked about the aggression earlier on. That's a good one. Bob puts one in the back of the net. Bob might have heard that one. Maybe looking for a little revenge here. But the aggression is really a big thing. If bots try to wait on touches and try to sit back, they're almost always going to lose. They're almost always going to struggle. So if you have a bot that's able to, know when it should press and basically be able to press from almost all situations, that seems to be the really big differentiator between a lot of the head-to-heads.
Yeah, that's a good point. Being able to differentiate just putting your foot on the gas versus deciding to go back and get boost. I mean, that's something that us as Rocket League players tend to struggle with. That's really where your decision-making comes from. Whether you decide to go for something fast or leave it. Bob gonna go up in the air! Almost gets the read off the corner! What a nasty challenge by Bob. So close! Oh, not quite enough for the revenge there.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, Bob, a little bit signs of life here. Opportunities that was, I would say, at least 2 scoring chances, and dangerous both of them. Is this one maybe a chance for Stardust? Is he up in the air? No, he's not. He's staying grounded, and calculates that well, knows that it's going to drop back into that back post, and just takes care of it there. So nice and easy, able to finish that one off. Great recovery out of that, and just, I think, thought about going up there for a second. It looked like it was about to maybe aerial, but decides against it, and Bob now back by 3 in a tough spot here, but hopefully can continue to show us some of that solid form, show us some of those early goals that we saw. I guess that early goal that we saw, that was a nice response. As this one out into the midfield, Bob, can he take a shot from range? Does take a shot. It's well wide. Stardust possession the other way off the corner. Could Stardust do something from that spot? We'll put up the sidewall once more. I don't think they're going to convert this one, so they'll just have to kind of wrap it around to the sidewall and start the attack from there. Ooh, that one's actually really nice. Beat Stardust. Can they finish? No, they can't. A really nice spot, or a really nice shot, excuse me, from the corner there. But Bob just gets lucky. The post comes back to save him.
Really nice spot, also standing. Something interesting I've noticed from Stardust is the way he feathers his boost. Just like super fast banging on it. Bob is going to try to get this one a little bit closer. 2 goals to go with the minute 38 is not insurmountable. Definitely enough time, definitely enough space to get something going here. But yeah, Stardust just looking really, really solid off the rip here. It is only game 1, but if you take this win, that's 50% of the way that you need to get. And that's so tough. Putting another player on match point is difficult to overcome. Bob immediately putting it back within 1, but these bots don't have to deal with nerves. That is something that us Rocket League players get very used to. Rocket League is a game day esport. How you're feeling on that day and how you perform are the #1 factors that make players great. And these bots really don't need to worry about that. You can just shrug it off. So you see, Stardust, there we go. There's that immediate rotation back-to-back boost that I was talking about. Bob actually deciding to leave the back boost and instead cuts up towards midfield, takes this low boost challenge.
Yeah, and it's really kind of awkward positioning there. Stardust does get in the way of that one, at least enough. Now is backwards on this one. Can it turn its way around? Maybe get a chance at this one. Bob, that one's back on frame. Does that go in? No, Bob, great save there. Puts it across the frame. So Stardust still having to work for this one, does just rip it towards that back wall once more. And it's going to be interesting to see here too, because I feel like, honestly, for Bob, most of these kickoffs have been pretty solid. It's been putting itself into a good spot. So if it can control some more of the run of play, just get a couple of nice breaks there, I think this bot could come back and win the series. I think it could still come back and win this game. It just needs to find the equalizer right now as Stardust struggling with the wall. It seems like if it goes up that little side lip, it just doesn't quite know how to respond, has to wait for it to come all the way back down to the ground before it really knows what to do.
Yeah, we've seen Bob come very close to scoring off that lip twice now. As we see another opportunity, Bob goes diving, tries to get the save, and Stardust is going to score. Now, I don't want to say that this is over, as, you know, in Rocket League, with actual players, a 2-goal lead with 30 seconds left, that is a very manageable thing. Obviously, in 1v1, it's a little bit different, where aggression can take its toll, but in 2v2 or 3v3, you have other players to back you up, and, you know, with 20 seconds left, Stardust needs to go for this ball, and he does not. Bob keeping this very, very close. Cabbage, it's a little interesting talking about bots here, because I just, you know, when you cast so much Rocket League, you know the personality of the players. You get used to how they're going to play and challenge the ball, and I just have no idea what these bots are thinking. How do you get into the head of a computer?
Yeah, and I'd be really interested to see. I almost wish we had kind of a house bot that just would always try to touch the ball when it was within range, because I feel like we see Stardust doing decently with being able to jump up in the air and take opportunities. Is this one? Bob's going to put that one on frame. Stardust, can they save? Yes, they can. It's going to be a 0-second save there. It goes around the wall, and that ends game one. But I was going to say, I just feel like Stardust just even jumps for that second to last shot, or, you know, that one that Bob ended up scoring there, and it's a whole different game. It's a whole different situation there. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like, see how that changes things down the road, if maybe, you know, some of the future programmers decide to go in that direction a little bit more, where they are, you know, kind of entrusting their bot to jump for the ball more, to go up in the air for it a little bit more. But you know, a solid game one. Stardust comes away with it 5-4, and Bob, a really good attempt at the recovery there at the end. Now it just comes down to if they can find a way to win this game two with, I don't know, maybe some more aggression, maybe just some luckier bounces, or a little bit nicer kickoffs maybe too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like these bots can make corrections in between games. Stardust doing a little bit of drifting. Let's see if he can get on this one first. He can just strike immediately here. But yeah, it's not like these bots can make corrections in between the series, and you know, think about what the other bot did and try to correct based upon that, which is such a big part of this game. Reading your opponent is such a huge thing, and maybe some of these bots are doing that, and they are trying to figure out based upon the stats that they're being provided. But, you know, Stardust kind of getting one of the few saves, almost getting the double off the corner, but getting one of the few saves that we've actually seen so far here, and a very good one at that. Very surprising to see is Bob almost making a read off of Stardust, seeing that he was coming up very fast on that ball, but just taking the shot, even though it wasn't the best shot that was available, trying to get some space on the ball and maybe put Stardust on an awkward spot. Stardust not quite able to convert on that shot.
Yeah, but I feel like Stardust once again going up in the air, trying to take these shots. We saw that first, one of the last goals in that previous game was just kind of a bouncer up front, the bicycle kick, the backflip rather, and was able to find a way to put it in the back of the net. So really love to see that. Now maybe a shot from range. Bob, that one's not going to be on frame. If they can follow it up, it might be okay. Oh, excuse me, it actually is on frame. I thought that one was wide left, but Bob shows me I was wrong. Definitely threads the needle there.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was going to go up the corner. We do have the creator of Stardust in chat, Flaming Fury. Flaming, if you can hear us, I'm a little bit curious on your thoughts of how your bot is performing so far. He does say that Stardust can read its opponents, but not that good. If you can provide any insight into, you know, not necessarily the exact coding that goes into that, but maybe the methodology that you apply in order to get your bot to figure out what the opponent's doing and that sort of stuff. But if I were you, I would not be feeling ashamed at all about how your bot is performing. He tries to pinch that one off the corner, not quite able to get there. Stardust gonna have to recollect. Maybe looking a little bit awkward, leaves that one, and Bob is gonna put that on net. Unfortunate timing for the question there.
Yeah, and that one just really a tough break, but Bob showing us that it's able to score from the midfield. That's back-to-back now, where it just puts him right on frame, definitely able to take some speed there. I'm interested to see Stardust not using boost there as well. We talked about playing defense towards your own net, and that's one of the ones where Stardust, if just a little bit more boost, could put it off to the corner and would definitely clear that out to give itself a little bit more space to work with, a little bit more time and energy as Bob. Now another one going to be put away here. This one's bouncing out mid, and just, again, getting where it doesn't get rested by finds a nice shot, nice easy cleanup.
That's a fantastic read off that corner that a lot of players tend to struggle with. Trying to predict those corners can get really iffy in Rocket League, whether it bounce off the corner of the corner, I guess you could call it, the little slants between the wall where it starts to head in towards that corner angle. Can definitely get really nasty to try to read. And Bob showing no issues, almost slots that one from a very tight angle, but here's an opportunity for Stardust. Collects the boost, doesn't waste it like you mentioned, instead choosing to conserve it. Goes for the wave dash, tries to get Bob off, not quite able to, and Stardust goes missing on that one, but definitely more conservative of its boost. Seems to be favoring those wave dashes, which is very interesting to see. Deciding to go for the reverse. Oh, unfortunately unable to drift when it lands, but unfortunately Bob goes missing on that one, just leaves it completely open for Stardust.
Yeah, Bob overruns that one, and Stardust, the backwards touch ends up working out there. It's Bob just so in awe, so bamboozled from that touch that can't put it can't put it out of the center of the area, I should say there. So, I mean, it's a good response from Stardust once more, and what can the bot do? I honestly feel like it's so close between these two as Bob's going to put that one in off the kickoff. Another one. We saw a goal almost identical to this in the last game where it just rolls around and Stardust sits underneath it, doesn't go for the touch, and Bob just jumps over top, says, if you're going to stay on the ground, I'll go over top, and nice and easy, and stretches it back to 2.
Yeah, I gotta agree, and you know, Stardust definitely seems to struggle a little bit more on the goal line defense. But I think that the bigger takeaway here is how Bob capitalizes on the ball bouncing awkwardly out in front of the net. As you see him just put another one. There's that midfield goal. You touched on it in game number 1. And now here in game number 2, we see Bob striking from far. Those are definitely not easy ones to put on. But Stardust seems to struggle a little bit more on the goal line, and maybe that reserve play kind of biting it here. So we see Stardust not trying to boost towards the ball, not trying to go up early, rather conserving the boost and waiting for the other bot to mess up before making its move.
Yeah, that's something we talk about a lot with humans too, is the mistakes and what that looks like. That's a great shot from Stardust, nicely done there. Threads it around Bob, but I was going to say, you know, the mistakes is a huge part of human Rocket League, of course, for the fact that, you know, you don't want to make mistakes, give your opponents opportunities, but I feel like that's a big part of the bot Rocket League as well, is just knowing when to go for opportunities, and you know, if you do go for that opportunity, if you miss, what does that look like? You know, do you miss it and put it off to the corner? Do you just fully whiff? And so the mistakes, I mean, it's different with bots. It's kind of a little bit more nuanced, I would say, but definitely something to watch out for to see if those bots can minimize it and what they do in those tougher situations where you don't quite know what the right decision might be.
Yeah, absolutely. Fury giving us a little bit of insight. So essentially his bot chooses the best shot based on where the opponent is positioned, but it also factors in the amount of time that it can take for the opponent to get there. So I don't know if the bot's able to tell the amount of boost that the opponent has, or if it just assumes the fastest route is Bob. Barely gets a piece of that one. He's going to have an open net, but he flips too early. That's going to go up. 6 boots left, decides to conserve it, not going super fast. Stardust has a chance, but he whips it. Oh, that was a huge opportunity for Stardust to try to get back into this one.
Yep, and we talked about the jumping, we talked about it being in the air, and that seemed to be a weakness right now, and it's coming back to haunt Stardust again. That one just bouncing there, and Bob, it can wait. It understands that it probably doesn't have to really go for it all too quickly. Of course, you don't want to let it bounce there forever, but takes the smart play and just lets it wait and sit around there. I was going to say with Stardust, I will say one thing. It can't know how much...
Sorry, oh my gosh.
Oh, no, you're all good, but I was going to say, it can't know how much boost the opponent has. That's the information just to, that's hidden behind the wall there. So it can know the position, it can know the speed, and it can know, I think, the angle is what it can know, but I don't believe it can know the boost total of the opponent unless there's something kind of really funky thrown in there.
Interesting, yeah. Shout out Nightbot posting how to learn how to code your own RLBot. Again, guys, these are bots coded with Python, arguably one of the most used languages in coding right now. Very, very popular across not only professions, but schools, everything. Python, a very, very popular language to be learning right now. And this is a really fun way to take your hobby and turn it into a real-life skill. You know, learning how to code Rocket League bots not only makes you better at coding, it helps you analyze your own gameplay, analyze others' gameplay, take a different look at the game that you love so much. So definitely take a click on the link that RLBot just posted there if you're looking for an opportunity to learn. So we see Bob with a ripper, reads the ground pits, puts the shot on. Cabbage, we're going to game 3, and as I say that, we do have our other off-series match ended up. Coolbot sweeps DeBesser, and you know, I gotta say, on stream here, we're gonna get back-to-back game 3s, hopefully, cross your fingers, no cast returns, but looking like we're gonna get back-to-back game 3s here.
I got some bad news for you.
No, what?
First series was not go to 3.
Oh, it did not. I'm looking at the
Iroh took care of business. I'm sorry. I gotta break your heart there, you know. But I was gonna say I do like these series though. I do like someone mentioned in chat, you know, the back and forth definitely good to see that one bot isn't just running away with it. And I wanted to mention that as well, that of course, you know, for those of you familiar with soccer, you know, you can say that Rocket League is similar to hockey or soccer, kind of a take your pick there. But I mean, you'll see games that are very low scoring, and I feel like we usually don't see that with the bots. I feel like our average total goals is, I would say honestly, it's got to be near 10. It's got to be at least in the high single digits, if it is not in the double digits. So really cool to see and cool to watch that and see, you know, the back and forth. Gives you a little bit more action, a little bit more of kind of a feel about what these players and what these bots can do on the field.
Yeah, very true. Honestly, one of the big things that stand out to me is how the bots use their flip. Whether they're holding it off the wall to get a late flip to try to get more space out, potentially challenge the ball, or if it's the wave dashes. I mean, the way that these bots are using their wave dashes is not like anything I've seen before in these competitions. That's very impressive. Definitely think that maybe there's a little bit more to learn with using drift in order to preserve that speed. But again, I'm a big brain dum-dum who couldn't even begin to comprehend how this stuff gets put together.
And I think we might see our first goal of this game number 3 unless Stardust has a touch. Oh, that one didn't really look all that intentional. I think wanted to go towards the ball, but I'm not quite sure if they wanted to actually touch that there. Bob gets a really awkward touch as well, hits that across all the way to the far side. Stardust does go for the handbrake there, but goes away from the ball. I don't know if that's just trying to, you know, conserve the defensive position. Of course, we talked about that as well, of not just positioning of how your car is in relation to the ball, but you know, in relation to the opponent. Do you want to play back on defense? Do you want to always push the attack? And it looks like Stardust is going for a little bit of a slow kind of roll off of that far side. Wants the ball to go into a little bit of a different spot. Does touch it across. So that'll give Bob the ball and possession on that far side. A pinch that almost finds its way home as well. But just out of reach there. And Stardust trying to get some distance on it here. But playing very slow. And I'm not sure if that's the right call in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. Really what kind of turned this around for Bob was that Stardust put the ball back towards his own corner and then decided to go for the boost that was on the side of the field that he was on. So rather than trying to cut field, follow where the ball was going, get that back corner boost, and then try to turn towards the ball, instead the bot turned towards the boost that was closest to them. And that really kind of bit them there. Again, we'll see it. Stardust tried to favor the boost. The ball is going to barely go off the corner. Bob is crawling back in this series. After game number 1, I definitely would have thought that the Stardust prediction was going to be the one to go with. But, man, Bob is looking really good with those midfield shots.
Yeah, and it's surprising, too, because once again, I just want to mention this. You know, with humans, it's momentum-based. You know, it's play style. You can change your cars. You can change how you're playing. You can be more aggressive. You can be more defensive. You know, you have that change. Whereas this, it's all kind of based on the kickoffs and based on where it goes from that. And again, it's now a third one for Bob. It's just, what has changed? You know, there can't be any live changes. There's not changes or updates or anything in between the games. It's the exact same bots and the exact same, at least situation relative to everything except for the kickoff. So it's interesting to see such a different game number 3 here after a strong showing from Bob in game 2, and just I mean, it's hard to tell what the difference is. What makes these bots so different in this final game that has a shutout on the board right now?
Yeah, I absolutely have to agree. Hopefully it's not getting it totally is. Just kidding. We'll wait for a second here. Let me go back to the Bob. Flaming, if you're still here in chat, if there's anything that you're noticing from your bot or what that Bob's bot is doing better, I was going to mention the previous goal. We saw Bob kind of read that space a little bit better, realize where Stardust was positioned, and approach the ball faster than Stardust was, which is why Stardust missed it. But there we just see, I mean, just a nasty angle from Bob. Taking that super slim angle, trying to put it on, as both bots have tried to do throughout this match. Those tight angles definitely going to be something that I'm going to be watching throughout tonight a little bit more. Not really something that was a deciding factor in the previous series. This definitely seems to be more of a ground-based series that Bob is controlling. He's taking those tighter angles, he's taking the longer shots, and just looking for opportunities where we can get him. As we see another great shot from Bob, way past the midfield line, 75% of the way down there, with a bump even to push Stardust out of the way. 5-0.
Yeah, and I do agree with one of the members of chat that we did kind of put the caster curse on, unfortunately. So I feel like Stardust needs an absolute miracle at this point. 2 minutes is not too short of a time to make a comeback happen, but Bob just looked like such a strong bot, and this one's going to make it 6 now. It's going to be just so strong here. I mean, this is really, you know, Stardust playing a little bit too passive, needs to get these touches a little bit sooner, and that's such a tough situation too, because against a different bot, against a bot that plays more like Stardust, I think Stardust would probably win. I feel like it has done very well in slower and calmer situations, but because Bob is just putting on the aggression, just always going for the ball in this, it's making it so much more difficult to play against and so much more difficult to play defense against specifically.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. Don't you guys dare try to put the caster curse on us. It doesn't work with computers. We've tested it. We know for sure caster's curse only applies to humans. But if it were real, I guess you could say maybe it was our fault here, especially with the showing that we saw from Stardust at the start. Yeah, I'm really curious what is going on different here. Maybe a replay review might be in need here. But
Yeah.
Flaming Fury saying that tried to make Stardust more precise towards the opponent's goal, but he maybe feels like it's not working. A Brazil set up indeed, 6-1. Now, Flaming, there's a Brazil protocol in there, right? You're gonna let Bob score one more. I have to assume that all these bots have Brazil protocols set up to allow it. But no, a minute left here. This is definitely Bob's to lose. He is running away with it. Stardust trying to end the Brazil, not quite able to get there.
Yeah, and I was going to mention real quick too, of course, a little update. We got some, got a couple of our admins, of course, Isidore, and actually your Brazil is shattered. So I don't know.
Oh.
I might start to believe that the caster curse does, in fact, matter here. I don't know, but it potentially could. I was going to say the fact that we got word that Bob was in the last tournament as well. It just really did not do too much on the offensive side. Said that it was really a defensive bot that kind of just hung around its own net. So really good to see some development. See, you know, taking some notes from that tournament, taking something home and improving the bot from there on out. It's now a long range shot here. This one looks good from downtown. Another one. Bob is an absolute sniper. Does not miss from range. This one way downtown and puts it away.
What a great read from Bob. Stardust turning in towards net. You know, 9 times out of 10, that's something that a Rocket League player will instead play for a 50. But Bob doesn't care about score. He doesn't care about time. He just wants the goal. And he's going to get it any way he can. So we'll see him. 5 boost left. Jumps for it. And Stardust is going to be caught awkward. Unfortunately, not challenging that one. I do believe. No, unfortunately, Stardust caught 0 boost. Nothing going for him, trying to read that cross net bounce, but Bob is going to be there to clean up. 36 seconds left. This one's essentially over. We're starting to look towards our semi-final matches, and this competition's definitely heating up, Cabbage. I gotta tell you, I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing. Again, to remind anybody who might be new to the stream or just joining us, these are bots coded by students, young professionals, people just trying to learn how to code Python and doing it in a fashion that ties in a hobby that they love, Rocket League. So yeah, these are just people putting their minds to it and trying to accomplish what they can. And regardless of whether your bot wins or loses, it is incredibly impressive what all of these people are taking away from this course.
Yeah, and I was going to say that too. Of course, I've been around since the genesis of bot battles. For the longest time, I think since about the first one, I think, or maybe the second one that Skillquest ever put on, and seeing how much stronger some of these bots are, it's impressive to see that. You see a lot of these creators that don't just take the template that's given them, and they don't just follow those directions one by one. They actually do a whole lot more, and they always look to improve their bot and make it every little bit better. And I was going to say as well too is the fun thing, the fact that we do have a returning player in General Iroh and things like that, is that you can go back to the drawing board. You can go back and update your bot and make improvements and make changes and things like that. So I think that's one of the really cool things, that just because you fall out of one tournament, just because you don't win this one, doesn't mean you can't compete the next one. Doesn't mean you can make your bot even better for the next go around. So it'll be exciting to see if we see Stardust once more in the future, because I think a bot that has a really good foundation, does a lot of things really well, but just needs to have a couple of changes there and can be that next step up.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet Flaming talking about making some changes to his bot there in chat. I think there's some big takeaways from that series there. I mean, your bot played very, very strong in game number 1. A replay review might actually be in order to take a look at how it changed from game 1 to games 2 and 3, because I mean, honestly, that was incredible, the way that Bob, he didn't adapt, obviously. Just what was different based upon the ball's placement or based upon the opponent's placement that all of a sudden for those next 2 games in a row, I mean, maybe it was just dumb luck. That's totally a real thing that could have happened there, that, the ball just happened to land in better places that Bob was prepared for. And that's still a learning experience in and of itself.
Yeah, and I want to say too, I wonder if it comes down to anything about if there's any difference between what the scoreline is, if the bot plays differently when it's winning versus losing, because I feel like I think Bob led for the entirety of that final matchup there, did not trail at all in game number 3, and led most of game number 2 as well. And really the thing is too is, does there anything that carries over from the first goal? Does the first goal, does that store something in the memory of the bots, or is it just straight up to, does it just wipe away and start fresh from that second one? So it's interesting because we got word that actually Stardust did get second in the summer league. So interesting to see sometimes that the bots that do really well against something just struggle against the other ones, and of course falling to Raisin Brand in that tournament, the bot that ended up winning the title, and that was a really strong bot as well, and an interesting bot as well, because actually a competitor written in C++, kind of surprising there. So
interesting.
Yeah, of course, always welcoming some other competitors that they want to take the course, but feel more comfortable in a different programming language or something different, can enter something of their own design. So interesting to see nonetheless, but unfortunately for Stardust here, we'll have to go back to the drawing board for iteration at least number 3 for this one.
Yeah, great point there, Flaming Fury, bringing up that Stardust always suffered from long-range shots, and I gotta agree, that was kind of what Bob excelled in that series. As much as the close-range shots with the defender kind of came up, maybe that offensive pressure that Stardust, your bot, was trying to employ, was putting it out of position to try to read where the ball was going to end up, where it was bouncing into the net. And Rocket League can be a game of inches, and it absolutely can come down to that. But on your screen, we have the bracket. Obviously, that bottom match not set up yet, but we will be seeing QuillBot take on Bob the Tomato up next. Right now, General Iroh, who you guys saw dominate Bartimaeus in our first series of the night, is now going to be taking on BillyBotJr, who won 2-1. So that was the other match that I was looking at when I was talking about games going to game 3. Okay, so obviously we saw General Iroh earlier, and we're just going based on vibes, and we've been wrong 100% of the time so far. Cabbage, who do you have taking this one?
Well, I think I got it correct with with General Iroh winning that first one. I
Oh, did
feel
we
like
do
he.
predictions?
Oh,
It's been a long
I
night.
I don't, I
Forget
don't
it.
know if we really did predictions, but in my head, at least, I would have had General Iroh winning that one just by the sheer strength of that bot when it comes down to it. But besides the point there, I mean, cool bot versus Bob the Tomato. I mean, I feel like I don't want to jinx my produce friend here and go for Bob the Tomato, so I'm gonna go for cool bot. I'm gonna hope that it's the jinx that continues. And if I'm right, then I guess I'm happy because I got the right answer. If I'm wrong, then the produce man lives on. So I'll go with Coolbot here.
You're looking one ahead. We got Iroh
Oh,
versus
excuse me.
BillyBot in this
Oh well,
next one,
General
which is
Iroh.
the
Come on,
same thing
Freight
I did.
Cabbage. I mean,
We're all still.
everything that's with my character comes from the cabbage vendor in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So General Iroh
Right, right.
clears. He's always my number one pick, no matter what, no matter who he's facing. That's probably not the truth, but at least in this case, I'm going to go with that over BillyBot Jr.
I gotta differentiate. I wanna go with the unseen underdog here, and I'm gonna go for BillyBot Jr. I think we're gonna get a game 3 though. So for whatever that counts for you guys at home that are watching this, maybe it counts for something, maybe it doesn't, but we're gonna get this one underway. Firing off here now. Remind me, Cabbage, is there anything that you remember that stood out that General Iroh did in that first series? I think it was the wave dashes.
I mean, it's really a little bit of everything, as this one might actually go in to start us off here. No, great save there by General Iroh. Dashes into it on his own goal line to keep that one out of the back of the net. I would say that there's a lot of things that General Iroh does well. I mean, we've seen solid kickoffs. We see good boost management, able to use it when it's smart and when it's, it's a right decision to use it, to get around the ball, not just go straight at the ball and hit it into a less advantageous position. I will say anything in the air as well. I feel like we've seen General Iroh do well with that, and then also some defensive touches. So I think this one really comes down to how solid is BillyBot? Is BillyBot able to step up to the challenge? Because General Iroh is going to play a strong game no matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Lugnuts, a great point there that there are more tournaments coming up here. So whether you're in this tournament or just thinking about joining, there isn't a bad time to get involved. This is BillyBot almost gets the shot off his own post to go in the net. Iroh smartly conserving his boost. What a touch! Getting a ton of power, zero boost, and just kind of lining up with the ball there, putting everything that the bot can into it. Both them kind of low boost, seeing some conservation out of Iroh, smartly with the ball being on his own half. It's going to get a free shot. Let's see how Billy can recover. Goes to the bump, doesn't get the demo, and the pool shot's there.
Yeah, with the demo there, it might have been enough. I'd be concerned that BillyBot would potentially drive through the ball and put it in its own net, but gets the full shot, gets General Iroh the first goal of the afternoon. And this one actually, I talked about how the bot games are usually very high scoring. This one might buck the trend there. Based on what we're seeing so far, 90 seconds gone, only a single goal. This looks like it's going to be, maybe a 3-1 or a 3-2 type finish. Not really as high as we've seen with our previous minimum being 8 goals in a single game. I don't expect that to be the case in this one unless someone really starts scoring.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some very good boost conservation from both these bots. BillyBot taking that victory with General Iroh and then taking the wave dash after in order to gain some speed. And not only that, reading the 50 off of Iroh, but just very, very solid so far. None of the bots going for flip resets. Disappointing to see that. Definitely something to keep an eye out for on your next match. But no, Iroh, great read, putting the ball off his own backboard. Impressive stuff there.
Yeah, and again, I feel like BillyBot, we saw it on that last defensive possession, did well to have a good touch. And another really nice one there, just softly touches it across its own net. I talk about that with the defensive touches of being able to, put it towards your own net or away from your own net without accidentally own goaling. So really, it's going to be nice and some predictions coming out here too that we might see one of the most, if not the most competitive finals that we've seen, because we have a lot of very even bots so far as BillyBot just getting absolutely hammered there.
Radio Free MN, where did you go? Now it's Alex Skillquest getting the prediction there, but yeah, what a great opportunity.
That felt like maybe it needs to be censored if there's any highlight reels from this one. General Iroh just absolutely going to town, but BillyBot able to survive. Maybe a shot from Ranger. This one going to be into a dangerous spot. Both of them are up. Is anybody going to put that away? No, it's going to go to the goal line. Oh, it's going to go in. BillyBot does put it away there. That one, I was worried it was going to be an own goal, or not an own goal, but a own save. But BillyBot does well.
Cabbage, you mentioned it at the top of this match, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be nearly as high of a scoring game or series as we've seen throughout the first two matches of tonight. This one is definitely looking a little bit tighter. It's very interesting to see. Iroh, no boost, goes for it. He's not going to be able to get ahead of it, and BillyBot gonna take the lead here, under halfway, only a minute 43 to go here. Yeah, I don't know if these bots kind of factor in time or anything, but that's something I factor in when it comes to how playstyle is going to be done throughout the match for Rocket League.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, that's a huge thing. You were talking about in that first series about comebacks and things like that, but just players in general. I mean, it's such an important thing that the clock, you're always focusing on it. And I feel like the bots, I honestly don't feel like we've seen that all that much, as this one set up a really nice touch there by BillyBot to put that one in the back of the net. General Iroh, I complimented the defensive touches. That one absolutely abysmal there. Runs out of boost and just puts it right out center. BillyBot will easily take care of that.
Again, to reiterate, for some of you guys who are maybe just joining, just getting on here, these are bots coded by young professional students, people just who have a passion for coding, have a passion for Rocket League, going out of their way to learn a new skill and apply it to something that they love. And this has been such a cool thing to experience, whether it's in person at the event that we ran during the summer, whether it's now during this online event. Skillquest, thank you guys so much for going out of your way and hosting these courses for people to learn how to do this stuff. Nightbot, if you scroll up just a little bit, you'll be able to see how to get joined yourself if you're interested in anything like this. But game number one approaches the end of it. This is not over. Iroh has plenty of time to get in here and potentially give Freight Cabbage a correct prediction here for the night. But so far, this is looking like it's BillyBot's game to win.
Yeah, right now this one.
Oh no!
Oh, it's another bad touch there. I feel like General Iroh does well if the ball is rolling towards the net, able to put it into a good spot. But if it's just kind of hanging out in the corner, doesn't quite know the correct protocol to get that out of its own corner and into a spot that doesn't really provide any dangers. This one really ambitious, trying to go off the ceiling for that one. BillyBot should have a chance on this one. It's going to be a miss, maybe an opportunity for Iroh, but I think he just went past the ball there. Now 0 boost on the defensive zone. BillyBot's going to put that one in the far corner, and this is a clean game one out of BillyBot. It will be at least 5 goals when we're all said and done, so about half of our expected total. But really, I'm surprised. I feel like General Iroh has been one of the strongest bots I've seen. Of course, we've seen some other competitors that have gone even a little bit higher, but for an unknown bot here, BillyBot coming in as the number 5 seed, does not look like the number 5 seed. It looks like a very strong competitor that is ready to go and ready to head to the finals.
I gotta agree with you on that one. And you know, we were just making comments about maybe time being a factor. I think that Iroh might actually be looking at that, because the reason why Iroh missed that boost was they went too fast past the ball, were holding drift, and ended up in an awkward position, which as a Rocket League player I know all too well myself. You know, it's a very real situation to end up in, where the nerves start to get to you and you maybe end up flying past the ball or putting yourself in an awkward situation. But that was only the first game of this series. Again, this is only a best of 3. We won't see a best of 5 until the grand finals, which you'll see. This is the first semifinals match. Up next, we'll have the second semifinals match. Then we're going to cap it off tonight with the grand finals match. But getting started here, BillyBot with another opportunity, but another miss for the bot. 86 boost, plenty to try to rotate back on the ball. Iroh is awkward, but BillyBot just trying to take control. Some slower. This is that conserved gameplay that we're used to seeing in that game number 1 between these two bots.
Yeah, and I will talk about it too. The one other thing I did want to mention when we were talking about that, a good shot here, opportunity for General Iroh, a miss there. I was going to say a big thing that differentiates some of the best bots from some of the middle, or I guess kind of the average bots, would be if they do miss. I feel like the best bots really don't miss. And I'm not even talking about shots on net. I'm just saying if they're going for the ball, they're going to hit the ball. And that's usually a big part of it, because even some touch is oftentimes better than no touch. So we'll have to see what that looks like. Here's General Iroh's shot on net. I don't think BillyBot has the boost. They do not. And that's a good start for General Iroh.
There's another one of those high bouncing balls the bots seem to get caught on. Instead of just committing to going back towards their net, whether, you know, BillyBot decide to waste all their boost, go towards their corner boost and try to reposition, or conserve the boost, but get into a spot where they can potentially get ahead of the ball. just neither of those things come out. As you see Iroh looking for the pinch off of BillyBot's backflip, not quite getting it. But another thing that stands out to me for this series, from the summer series, is the pinches against the wall. It's very interesting to see these bots reading where that ball is going to end up on the wall. See a free goal for BillyBot if he can keep it on net. Oh, and there's another interesting thing. BillyBot, instead of just taking an easy free shot right in the middle of the net, going for that perfect placement. That is where you would put the ball if there was a defender or if there was somebody that was going to challenge it. You put that ball as close as you can to the post and try to get it behind him or ahead of him. Even though there was nobody there, BillyBot going for that perfect placement.
Yeah, and really good to see again. A nice conversion on the shots. Maybe another opportunity here. That one near post potentially. No, it will miss. BillyBot wanted that near side, but does not connect with it, I should say. Does not connect with the shot on goal, at least. As Iroh, maybe an opportunity for him to transition the other way. This one's going to wrap around into a good spot. BillyBot, really nice touch there. It's in an awkward spot on that one. Nothing nice defensive touch. I feel like we've seen a couple of those out of the side of BillyBot where it's pinching the ball off its own backboard to get it out of the dangerous areas, and really looking good.
An unfortunate miss there for Iroh. A free shot opportunity just barely goes wide. Now BillyBot looking for that pinch off its own backboard. It's going to miss it. Iroh goes to the backflip shot and gets the pop over BillyBot. Just that slightest touch. If I was watching this, I would not guess that these are bots. I mean, these are top 5% players. I mean, absolutely, you could sign up with this bot to compete in a league and potentially get it drafted and picked up. Just very impressive reading and gameplay that we're seeing come out from both sides here.
Yeah, and, I've always talked about that. I would love to see a 2v2 with some of these bots, see if we can ever get that to be created. Because I think it'd be interesting to see, too, if you could potentially program, or I guess it would kind of look to me like kind of like TV soccer or TV hockey looks, where it's just a bunch of players on top of the ball. But it could still be interesting. I think there could be some very fun, some very exciting shots and, team plays and things that go on here. General Iroh pass up to the middle. BillyBot a hammer to the back post, and that one really looks good. I mean, it's a clean finish there as General Iroh kind of sauces this one out. It's some good pace behind that one. Is that 73 miles per hour on that shot?
Kilometers.
Holy smokes. Yeah, that one. Oh, kilometers. Okay. All right, we're using metric in this household, but still a pretty good bit of power behind that one for a bot.
Absolutely. And not only that, there is something that usually we see bots get a little confused when they end up in their own net. They end up on one of those weird side walls that aren't the walls that players generally end on the main field. They can definitely get confused and get turned around, but Iroh was actually able to get the read from inside of his own net to put it out, but a heater from Billy is going to get answered by Iroh here. Going to go back up in this series, half the speed of the last one, 36 kilos per hour, I believe is what they say to my friends out west. But a minute 57 to go here, and this is definitely neck and neck. Obviously, BillyBot has a massive advantage, taking the game on win. Iroh goes for the ballsy decision, putting it off his own backboard. Might pay off for him. He's going to have a shot opportunity, but BillyBot is going to respond in kind. Goes up. It's awkward. Decides to leave it, and it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, that touch is going to lead to a goal for Iroh.
Yeah, and sometimes the easiest goals are the ones your opponent scores for you. That one really easy for General Iroh. Just BillyBot not able to quite adapt there. I would have loved to see maybe going towards the center of the net. I would love to see that with some future bots, just to see if they have an issue where they don't know where the ball's going to be bouncing. It's just going to roll up the post. Go to the center of the net. Just put yourself into a good spot, or even the back post, and then just charge after it from there and see what you can do. See how if you can clear it, if you can maybe just get a touch. Even a 50 would be better than nothing there. But General Iroh really looking good in game number 2, and I think this is what we kind of expected after we saw that first 60 to 120 seconds of game 1. It looks like it's going to be a good battle back and forth. Iroh a chance for another one here off the post. That one is oh so clean. And I mean, from a pretty strong game 1 for BillyBot to now a absolutely resounding recovery in game 2 here for Iroh.
That was a nasty read off the corner. Unfortunately, BillyBot getting a piece of Iroh and propelling him forward, but Iroh then reading that boosting forward to get control of the ball, and that's exactly what every Rocket League player dreams of. That's super tight. There's no margin for error. Either you get all the ball or you get none of it, and it is heading back towards your net. And Iroh getting all of it to put it on. Now up by 3, under a minute to go here. This is Iroh's match to lose. Has to lock in and win here. And again, that time thing that we were kind of talking about, there's a little bit of a bump that we see. Not a ton of bumps, but I believe we've seen really only the 2 big ones in this series. Correct me if I'm wrong, is Iroh going to capitalize from an own goal from BillyBot there?
Yeah, and this one, I mean, it's so difficult as like an analyst or as like an outside observer to figure out what's going on. What's the difference between game 1 and game 2? What is the difference between these? Because you can't give a prediction for game number 3. You can give a prediction about the series and kind of try to gamify and see what you think is going to be the better bot when it comes down to the full series. But I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen in game 3. I feel like it could be 10-0. I feel like it could be 2-1 as the final score. It's so hard to tell what is so different in game 2 for General Iroh that allows him to score 7 after scoring just 1 in the opening game.
Yeah, we saw very tight game number 1, and now, like you mentioned, just a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is the difference there? What is the deciding factor, and what makes them so different in this setting versus our last one?
How much does RNG actually play into this? We talked about it in that last series that we watched, where, was it purely based on RNG that Bob was able to beat Stardust just based on the ball ending up in a better position for the bot to pick up? But, game number 2, gonna go way of Iroh, and potentially, I guess you could call it a reverse sweep. Doesn't quite feel like the normal reverse sweep that we're used to in best of 5s or best of 7s, but in a best of 3, I have no complaints as Iroh coded to use its boost at the end. I'm glad we got to see that. Maybe throwing a little showmanship out there. Do you have guesses heading into game number 3 of who's going to take this before I click start?
I really don't. I feel like I think it's whichever bot gets out to the lead earlier on. I feel like both these bots have played well when they're in the lead, so I think that's going to be a big part of it there. I was going to say something that I think would be very interesting to see, because we talk about the RNG, and for those of you not familiar, there really isn't any RNG. All the physics is the same. All the boost, like everything is the same. The one true piece of RNG we do have is the kickoffs. I would love to see what are the statistics when it comes down to if there's this many of what frequency of kickoffs do we see? Is it even across all 5? Is it even across all like 3 different types, I'll say? Or is it varied there? And how do the bots perform? Does General Iroh always do well when it's diagonal, or does it always do well when it's back? Does one bot struggle against one style versus a different one? Because that to me is the big deciding factor. I think there's only so much that can be chalked up to that, because of course the run of play when the bots are just having to face each other in the open field, that is a result of the kickoff. But the further down the line it gets, the less directly related to that kickoff it gets. But still, something that I would love to see, and I guess we'll have to see if that's maybe a stat we can get down the line.
That's a very good point to bring up. Yeah, if any of you stat nerds are out there, I love that sort of stuff. Yeah, Corbin, Alex, I know you guys are sitting here listening. Definitely let us know if you guys have noticed this, especially given that you guys have been a part of this from the beginning and seen so many of these matches. And maybe there's not data that sticks out to either of you, but if there's anything that you've seen from the bots specifically that tend to perform better than the others. Alex, you've mentioned a couple of times in the chat that you're predicting this is going to be the best finals that you have seen come out from any of these bots. And we don't even know who's qualified yet. We're about to see the first bot qualify here as we head into game number 3. This is not golden goal, but sudden death. I mean, whoever takes this match is going to be heading into the finals and participating for the grand prize there. So, very interesting to see. Iroh gonna get an opportunity, flips a little early, and BillyBot again using that backboard. It's super cool seeing both these bots utilize that backboard, try to gain momentum going the other way.
And yeah, there's going to be our first goal of these. Game number 3, BillyBot will strike first. And that one, I feel like a missed opportunity for General Iroh. Of course, won't hang in the mental, won't hang in the back of its mind there, but for its creator at least, definitely an opportunity that is gone by the wayside. That felt like what should have been the opening goal. I will say, however, in game one, General Iroh did score first and then got absolutely wiped there by BillyBot. So maybe General Iroh looking for a little bit of that similar result here in this one as BillyBot, another tight angle shot. That one looked good, but does not find the back of the net, just misses on that far side.
You know, you got to respect the commitment from BillyBot to go for that one. That's a tight angle shot, not a very easy thing to make. Goes for it, leaves himself with not enough boost, and that will turn into a goal from General Iroh. But you gotta respect the commitment, trying to get just the perfect angle on that one to slot it by. And that is something that we've seen both of these bots go for today. BillyBot goes to the backflip, barely gets there ahead of General Iroh. Very, very tight. Iroh with no boost, goes to the boost in the corner. He's gonna go missing it, tries to get ahead of it. BillyBot with an unfortunate pins out, just a little bit slow, but wide enough to create some space. And that touch definitely not going the way that they wanted. Probably a shot on net that they were looking for. Cabbage, you mentioned definitely something that I would love to see is a 2v2 tournament, but I wonder if any of these bots factor in some of those play styles of, you know, put the ball out wide, even if it's not the best situation in a 1v1 scenario. BillyBot capitalizes there, but yeah, whether the person coding it maybe has more experience in those game modes and factors that into how the bot's going to play, or what it could be, just so many things to factor in here.
Yeah, and I really think that's a big point of it too. Of I honestly feel like always putting it out to the edges would not be a bad idea. Of course, you know, only so much that you can really do from that area, only so much you can get, as that one's going to be a one off the kickoff now. BillyBot getting a 2-goal lead here with just a nice little shot on net there, really tight angle there, just able to side flip into it. And I don't know, it's going to be just so interesting because I feel like honestly, putting it to the sidewall is always a good idea, but I think the bots are just a little bit more, I honestly would say a little bit more advanced than that. I think they're always trying to go for might be a more optimal play, and that feels like, to me, a little bit more of a simplistic strat.
Yeah, that's a very good point there. Again, if you're just joining us, Nightbot just posted it. Plenty of ways to get involved here and learn how to code these bots yourself. Maybe teach them not to do that. Maybe teach them not to do what BillyBot just did there. But again, all of these people took Skillquest coding course, learned how to code these bots. I myself, I have not learned how to code the bots, but I've learned how to get the programs installed, learned how to import the bots myself into Rocket League, and that's a skill that even if I don't know how to code, can help me become a better Rocket League player. I can learn how to import these bots into Rocket League and play against them myself, whether these are bots made by Skillquest creators or if they're bots made otherwise. This skill isn't necessarily just for people looking how to code. There are plenty of things that you can extract from these Skillquest courses, but if you think that you can do better than what you're seeing here, we absolutely encourage you guys to check out the courses offered by Skillquest. Plenty of amazing opportunities out here for you guys to learn. Oh, as you see, BillyBot almost left an opportunity. He just needs to not let this go in his net. He can lock in and win it here. But he's going to look for another opportunity. Goes to put this one on, and it's just barely off. If the bot was looking for that middle of the net shot instead of those far angle shots, it would have been in. That's a close one. That's scary, Cabbage.
Yeah, BillyBot might still
Oh,
put it away
he
here.
does!
Oh, it's going to go in there. Just a little bit of a wider touch, and that one would have been great. And I wanted to look back at that touch just a moment before that. BillyBot actually a pool shot into General Iroh, which then put General Iroh into a pinch off its own backboard. It was just kind of a wild sequence there for a moment. And unfortunately, an own goal here. Billy now has given up 2 own goals into this one. That really, it's going to hurt. So honestly, that makes me think that if BillyBot can survive and can win this series, has a good chance at the title, of course. Has been a strong bot regardless, so it definitely does have an opportunity. But I feel like just minimizing those own goals, it's an open canvas. As that one should be a chance. No, it's going to go crossbar and out. Oh no, BillyBot, you gotta convert on those opportunities.
I tell myself that every single day. Those are the ones that I absolutely love to miss. So I feel a little bit better knowing that it's not just me, the computer does it too. But tied up 3-3. To remind you guys, this is the final game for these bots. We have 2 more matches coming up after this. 1 more semifinals match, followed by the grand finals match. And the winner of this game here will be sending themselves to the grand finals. This is absolutely massive. And I think that the next goal might do it as Iroh gets the beat on BillyBot, but unfortunately not able to put it on net. See him go up the backboard, tries to center it towards net. That was a very good touch there, but not necessarily something that you'd want to go for in ones. It was nice and soft, a great center. If this were 2s or 3s, that's something that teammate would capitalize on. Every time BillyBot, again, the own goal? Oh, I thought that last little touch was enough to put it off, and it was not. Alex saying Billy loves an own goal, maybe giving an insight to how this game might end.
Yeah, Billy loves a hat trick of own goals in this one. That's heartbreaking. I feel like a bot that has done so well, has performed so beautifully, but just own goals in this one. And it's weird too, because in game 2 it was Iroh scoring. It was, I don't think we might have seen 1 own goal in game number 2, but in this one it's just that BillyBot cannot avoid its own net. So it's really it's heartbreaking, because it's been clear that this bot definitely knows what it's doing and knows how to play well, but just put into these awkward situations is now maybe a shot from range. BillyBot not done with it yet. That one's gonna go in the back of the net. It's 4 apiece, and BillyBot maybe a little handicap. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, look, if any of you guys at home thought that that any of these series would be a massive blowout, this is a testament to say that that is not true. I mean, we are looking at some very close games as we start to head towards our final series of the night. Iroh going up on that, goes missing, not enough boost, and BillyBot's gonna take the lead again. 8 seconds left, and these have been some pretty flippant series, Freight. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, hey, honestly, you know, good for you, BillyBot. You definitely love to shoot, and honestly, as long as you shoot it more at your opponent than your own, you'll come away with the win. So now it's 8 seconds, and you play defense on the kickoff. Nicely done there. Just sends it straight up. General Iroh, you have 8 seconds, not even that. Now 5 seconds to work with, nothing going on there. That one's going to be a 50, and BillyBot, which looked like a hopeless, what looked like a loss, what looked like it was done and dusted, finds a way to come back and win that one. And I mean, it's wild. I mean, you love this kind of game. You love this kind of back and forth when you're watching humans, but also really exciting when you see bots doing it, when you see them just going back and forth, punch for punch, blow for blow, and does well. I mean, BillyBot able to hang on and find the back of the net enough, you know, find enough offense to really make this quite a series, make this quite a win, and book its ticket to the grand finals. I mean, it's fighting for a title.
Yeah, super, super tight there. I can't even believe how close this was. I thought the in-person event was hype. It's crazy how hype this is here online. And to remind you guys, Skillquest puts on events in person, online. One of the best ways to learn how to code and really turn your passion of Rocket League into some real skills. Shout out to you guys for making this happen. We have 2 more series to go here tonight. We have 1 more best of 3 and then a best of 5. Cabbage, how are you doing? Do you want a quick break, or do you want to roll into this next one?
I mean, I think we're about 15 minutes behind, so I think we should just keep on cruising. Let's hope we have maybe a sweep here would be nice. I would love another 3-game series, but you know, maybe a sweep to get us back on track. And of course, our next one up on the docket here, it's QUIKHorizon versus Bob the Tomato. My pick still stands. I'm cheering for QUIKHorizon at least. We'll say that out loud, because we're hoping for maybe a little caster curse on this one, because I mean, hey, now I'm gone. I think 3 for 3 on caster curse. No, excuse me, 2 for 3. I was correct with the first General Iroh pick, but this one, BillyBot, strong win there. So we'll have to see. It'll be interesting, and we got a little background as well that these two actually did meet up in a seeding matchup. Bob the Tomato and QUIKHorizon fighting for the seeds pre-tournament here, and actually went to overtime. So we're maybe cooking up another tight series here, back and forth. So it'll be exciting. What's your prediction on this one, Quick?
You know, I just had the sudden realization that we have a VeggieTales reference on one of the sides here. I have no idea how this went over my head. So I'm going Bob the Tomato. I think Bob the Tomato is going to take this one. But to say it's easy and that it's obvious isn't that straightforward, especially given how tight the series have been tonight. So, God, dear God, if both of us go for one different person, it can't be a caster curse, right? I think that's how the math works out on that.
Mm,
You can't.
I think if Bob the Tomato does. Actually, I don't know, because I'm known for the caster curses, of course. In my heyday of Rocket League casting, always caster cursing, always taking teams down, which might just be that I'm able to correctly identify who's going to lose, maybe, but I don't know. But we'll have to see. I mean, it'll be interesting, and of course, shout outs to like you've been saying, Skillquest all night, and of course, Fox Valley Lutheran, of course, a group that's very involved with Skillquest. A lot of these bots hailing from that group, so always fun to see a bunch of competitors from a single school. I can only imagine. I think it's got to be a lot of fun to have some fun, lighthearted smack talk back and forth. I've always done that with my friends. If we're doing something competitive like this, would love to basically, put your money where your mouth is. Hope your bot's able to represent you well in the field. And we talked about different hitboxes. We've got an Octane on the side of Bob the Tomato, but on QUIKHorizon's side, we've got the Fortnite Battle Bus. So we'll see if the beefier hitbox comes into effect here.
Yeah, not terribly sure what the other bot's doing in the net there. Kind of hoping. Did they get out of their own net? They were going in circles. QUIKHorizon did. They're looking for a shot on net, and the 50 from Bob goes wide. But QUIKHorizon instead deciding to go back, and a miss is going to leave an open net, but another miss. There we see the bot, rather than just going for that easy middle of the net shot, they go for that tight shot against the post, and that was going to bite QUIKHorizon in the butt. We'll see a free turn. No, goes missing, but Bob, 27 boost, decides to leave it and not immediately go up and try to convert on that one. Incredibly close.
Yeah, and really good opportunities here both ways in the opening minute. Now this one might be another chance the opposite direction. QUIKHorizon, can he go for the shot here? Are they close enough? No, off the backboard. Bob misses that one. It's bouncing, and Bob doesn't go for the jump. Instead, that one is QUIKHorizon coming all the way across the field, just ripping at this one. Puts it in the back of 115. That one has some power.
Yeah, what a great shot. Hell on pause. I see you in chat. Are either of these bots yours? Let me know. Definitely curious to see how the creators feel watching their bots perform here. I mean, just the amount of time, dedication it takes to do this. Sorry if I sound a little bit stuffy. And now, all of a sudden, as we start to head towards our final two series of the night, it's going to start to clear up. But QUIKHorizon, I got a feeling, is probably looking to sweep this one and take it into his Bob is going to shut me up and tie this one up 1-1.
I gotta say too, a really nice touch here by Bob. Does well to just roll it around the corner, wait for it to come out towards the middle. That's something that we've seen too, is bots not waiting to see what that looks like, because that's been the thing that we've seen before, where bots it's in the corner and they pinch it away. They pinch it off all the way wild, just across the net, back where it came from, just straight up. It's something that's not productive, not useful for their next attempt at possession. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues here. Bots are smart of off in the corner, and so we'll see what they've got. As actually, very interesting that Alex mentioned that the car is actually assigned based on their team. So, we'll have to see if QUIKHorizon, maybe if they're orange in their next matchup, if they've got a different car on that side, or if it's the battle bus in both. But the one thing I wanted to mention here real quick is I think it's gonna be funny. I'm expecting that one of these days, Mr. Quick, you're gonna get absolutely duped. Someone's gonna pop in here and say, "Yep, that's my bot." And they're gonna win. They're gonna win the title. And it's gonna be some random person, but we'll see. As a hard fought, a close back and forth game one so far. Just 250 remaining in this one. Really tight shot there. Bob Tomato wanted that back post, but it's not going to connect. Now a dangerous pinch towards its own net.
Dangerous pinch, but a great wall pinch at that. An absolute heater. QUIKHorizon, maybe too far back. No wave dash from Bob. Decides to just take this round nice and slow and gets there. And plenty of time to get back. QUIKHorizon goes for the shot. What a read from Bob. Even pre-jumps it to get ahead of that one rather than waiting or even driving up the inside wall of the net. Fantastic touch there to keep this one tied up. Under halfway, QUIKHorizon is going to put this one net and is going to convert. Another low-scoring game to start with. It almost feels like that's how these series go. Maybe the bots are learning from each other and are taking these low-scoring series and turning them into very high-scoring ones immediately after.
Yeah, and I think this is a big thing to talk about too, really quick. That the fact that at least so far what we've seen, I feel like these are two bots that are more defensive-minded. I think they've had some nice offense, some good possessions, some good plays, but I feel like both of them are a little bit smarter on the defensive side. As I say that, that's going to be Bob the Tomato giving up a huge opportunity in the midfield. Just leaves this one in the open, backflips away, and QUIKHorizon says, "Thanks for the pass. I'm going to put that in the back of the net," and really, nice and easy there. QUIKHorizon's looking to run away with this one. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know what Bob the Tomato needs to do. I think a nice start off a kickoff would be something that would be all too welcome, but the boss just 50 it and then both go their opposite way.
But an interesting turn there. Unfortunately for Bob, it's not going to work out for him, but an interesting turn there. Usually we see the bots immediately go for that corner boost or, you know, either prioritize boost over ball. And we saw some decision-making really occur right in front of our eyes for both the bots. QUIKHorizon even itself deciding not to go back for that immediate full boost, not immediately turning towards mid, turning towards their own corner, trying to get back as quick as they can. Rather, maybe collecting a couple of baby pads there, getting those little bit of 12 boosts that they can, and trying to turn towards the ball. As you see, Bob gets 12, has 24, gets the pinch. Very, very nice there. Ball cleared out towards mid. QUIKHorizon with low boost. There you see what they make of their touch. Unfortunately, the double tap not quite working out, but mad respect for going for it. You see Bob with a nasty angle, reading that one and positioning well to get a free shot, and goes up again by 2. Or
yeah,
no,
really nice job getting far enough outside on this one and then using the boost to put that in the back of the net, of course. Like I said, you know, talk about some of the other bots, talk about bots we've seen in previous generations that will just drive straight at that and put it way far to the wide of the net. You know, just really good to see that the bots are smart enough to go really far outside and then swing back in to put that one on frame. Is now maybe another opportunity here. Bob is going to have a breakaway. QUIKHorizon's going to have to rush back to get on defense. What do they have? Is this going to be an opportunity? Bob, can they put it away? That one looks good. Oh, it's not quite enough. Lets it roll across and it goes away. That one's unfortunate, but once again, a good opportunity for Bob. Just needs to find a way to convert.
I want to know why Bob didn't use its boost there. Bob definitely had a free shot, but instead of boosting, you see another close one off the corner. Barely goes wide, but yeah, Bob definitely not using its boost there. I'm a little curious. I think Bob has the platinum reward wheels. I don't know what season that is, but it sure looks like Bob might have some ranked reward wheels on right now.
I'm not trying to burst your bubble, but I believe they do have access to the full library.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I believe we've seen someone use Alpha Boost before,
Oh.
so I'm not sure.
You're
I guess
telling
we
me
have to get
these aren't alpha bots? These bots weren't made back during alpha?
You'd have to give me some confirmation. Yeah, okay, yeah. We've been told the bots have cosmetics to whatever they want to do there. So, unfortunately, I'm not trying to burst your bubble, but you know they have to do what they want. So,
look, if you want to learn how to code a bot and hack Rocket League, Skillquest. Nope, I'm just kidding. Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but maybe we'll get you to sign up.
I'm not even sure if this does this go against the TOS of Rocket League. I honestly don't know. I don't know if this is against the terms and conditions because they're not really hacking. You know, it's somewhat unethical if you're going to beat a poor person with a bot. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe you can.
Do we? Can somebody from Skillquest?
I guess we use a custom plugin. But.
Right. Well, and that's ultimately what it is, right? This is all client-side stuff that's being changed. None of this is actually server side. It's essentially just the bots, I believe, running themselves on a server. Anyway, that being said, QUIKHorizon gonna take game number 1 here. Almost takes it by 3, but Bob is gonna be there for that save. Let's just let's roll right into the next game. Make sure that Barrel is here. Oh, permission from Psyonix and Epic. That's crazy. I didn't think Epic gave permission for anything last that I heard. RIP Baby No Money Fortnite collab. But yeah, I don't that's news to me to hear that we have the goodness graciousness of these companies here. No, just kidding. Regardless of it, it's crazy to see whether or not the company itself is involved. What you can do when you put your mind to it when it comes to these games. See Bob, a great corner jump. Looks to challenge that one, but gonna get cut off by QUIKHorizon. Bob goes for the 50, gets it. Possibly a big win. Unfortunately not able to get the shot on net, but controlling this ball out towards mid.
Yeah, and really a good bit of aggression back and forth here early on is this one again, QUIKHorizon just trying to get a good possession touch there. That one's a great shot. Bob sneaks it past, and it's in the back of the net. Just threads the needle oh so beautifully there, and it's another great shot once more as Bob, I mean, looking for a comeback here in game 2. What does it have in store for us? Does it have the luck of kind of the I don't know, we'll say Epic and Psionics. You know, instead of the God and anime on your side, you have Psionics and Epic. So, you know, we'll take that. But see what Bob's got here. I mean, continuing to have some good momentum.
Yeah, solid start so far, but it has been back and forth over the last couple of series here. Just a reminder for you guys, this is our second to last series of the night, our final best of 3. The winner of this match is going to face, oh my gosh, who are they facing? Remind me. General, not...
no, they're facing BillyBot.
BillyBot. Just kidding. Psych. No, QUIKHorizon almost at the read off the backboard. As he gets the follow-up touch, it's going to go off the corner, and he's going to tie this one up. But yeah, the winner of this match facing BillyBot in the finals. It will be funny to see both the only 2 members. Oh, there's a third one. 2 of the 3 members of Bot in their name, maybe revealing themselves here, potentially going into the finals here. But yeah, I mean, still very tight. That last game, pretty high scoring as far as games of Rocket League go, but not crazy high as far as 1v1s go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we talked about that earlier with the total number of goals that we expect, and I feel like that's the case a lot of the times. 2s that we talk about, you know, 1v1s oftentimes have some crazy high score lines. Of course, you know, you'll see double digits for both sides all too often. And I mean, it's really interesting too because there is the offensive and defensive side of both those players, but I feel like 1v1s are just such a different breed from the 2v2 and 3v3 Rocket League. I mean, you talk about all 3 of them are so different from one another, as that's going to be put in the back of the net. Bob the Tomato takes care of it. Finds its way back into the lead here, but I feel like these bots, we talked about how some are a little bit more offense and a little bit more defense, but I feel like at some point you have to do both. You know, you're going to see those high-scoring, really big blowouts if you don't. Otherwise, you know, we saw like a 7-1 and a 7-3 early on. We saw a 7-2 in the last one for General Iroh. So you see those when a bot just doesn't quite know if it should go for offense or defense, but you know, if it's a bot that's well balanced, then you see kind of a nice mix there, and you see probably 5 to 6 given up and 5 to 6 scores as well.
Well, and you touched on 1v1s being a different kind of beast from the general Rocket League that people play. Most people tend to grind out 2v2, 3v3. You don't see a lot of 1v1 mains out there. And in 1v1s, it really comes down to the decision-making more than it does in the other 2 game modes. You have another player that can clean up after you. You have somebody else that can be there in the net if things go wrong. Even if things go right, it's sometimes nice just to have that extra person. You can become more aggressive or less aggressive based upon positioning. So when it comes down to 1v1s, the decision-making is really key. And it's interesting to see how that plays out, especially with these bots here, where, you know, these are people's blood, sweat, and tears going into this, learning how to make this sort of stuff happen. As you see, Bob controls the boost. QUIKHorizon looking awkward, not able to slot that one. Very, very tight angle slot. Looking for it and not quite able to get there. Again, you're just joining us. I'm going to say this 2 more times tonight. These are bots. These are coded by students, young professionals, people with a knack for coding or even just interested in learning how to code, but ultimately that have a love for Rocket League, going out and putting their time and energy into the things that they love. Is QUIKHorizon goes to the aerial, doesn't get it, gets the save. What a save by QUIKHorizon on the wrong net, unfortunately. But I mean, again, these are passion projects for a lot of people, and it's super cool to see the competition as it continues to rise as we approach our final match of the night.
Yeah, and of course 90 seconds left in this one, and I think we might actually be going to another Game 3, which is really surprising. I mean, excuse me, a lot of people don't really watch a lot of these, or, you know, I've only seen a few as General Iroh, or excuse me, QUIKHorizon. Why am I saying General Iroh? Excuse me, QUIKHorizon puts this one in the back of the net. But I was going to say, a lot of the times you don't see matches going to full length. A lot of the times you see it's going to be a sweep. Usually it's one bot is clearly better than the other, but I mean, really good competition here, really even back and forth. And, you know, we had some comments about it earlier that this might be the most competitive grand final we're going to see with 2 bots that really go toe-to-toe. And it'll be exciting to see if that, you know, turns into a full 5-game series or something that's over a little bit quicker. As QUIKHorizon actually might take this into, we might get a sweep here in semifinal number 2.
I think QUIKHorizon heard you talking trash about Bob trying to push this one to a Game 3. and is trying to reverse that here. I don't know if it's reversing the reverse of the reverse caster curse that we put on it at the beginning of the match, but follow that red string if you would like to. QUIKHorizon though, 3-3 is gonna put that on net. It's gonna go up now in this game for the first time, and now potentially that could be absolutely a series-ending goal there from behind the midfield at the 3/4 mark. Gonna put that one on, and Bob trying to commit, trying to go fast, but not able to quite get there. What a great shot from QUIKHorizon.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, too. It's just those differences that come into effect late in the game. It's just one different bounce, one different little touch there that might decide this entire series and this entire back and forth. And I think right now for Bob the Tomato, it's going to be unfortunate. The creator might feel like it's just so close, so close to finding a way to fight back into this one and get a victory, but unfortunately it's another pass out towards the middle here. QUIKHorizon, can it make it a fifth? That one looks maybe good. No, it's going to go wide. So I'll have to play a little bit more offense or a little bit more defense here, depending on what the bot decides to do. Going to come in with a lot of speed. QUIKHorizon, tight angle shot. That one's a beauty. Just rips that as, wow. I mean, QUIKHorizon just storming back into this one.
An absolute ripper, 100 kilometers per hour on your screen there. Just absolutely nasty. Something to keep in mind, QUIKHorizon did save its own goal earlier in this game here, so could argue it should be up by 3, but being up by 2, if you're the creator, you gotta be feeling very good about that. But Bob trying to climb back into this one, under 30 seconds left. Another very, very good shot. Interesting how that was a tight angle shot that was able to score. I feel like we've seen a lot of these spots miss the tight angle shots when they're on the same side that the ball's on. So there, we saw the ball on the left side of the net, but Bob was crossing from the right to the left to get that shot. And that is definitely a lot harder to score on versus going from left to right in a situation like that. As Bob gives it up to QUIKHorizon, who's going to score, we immediately have turned into a slaughter fest here. Both of these
Yeah, and it's
bots.
really tough to because I feel like a lot of the times these bots, they just go for these long shots, they go for these weird touches, and I talk about being aggressive, and I talk about how that's usually a good thing. That's one of the situations that's just so tough, because I feel like in that situation, if Bob had just sat behind the ball, just didn't just sit there, or if they did just sit there, I should say, if they just sat behind the ball and just went for a 50, they're probably going to end up in a better spot, at least if they're able to get a decent 50. Otherwise, maybe the jump into the 50. But as of right now, it's going to be QUIKHorizon taking the win here. They will go 2-0 in this one. It's back-to-back 2-goal wins over Bob the Tomato, and really looking strong, looking like a great bot to go into this final battle against a BillyBot, and I finally break my caster cursor. I guess I'm now at, I think, 2-2 on the night, so I think you're also at 2-2 if I'm not mistaken, but it'll be quite a battle here. I mean, we're going into this final one in a best of 5, so the bot's a lot of work to do. You need to definitely put your best foot forward in 3 at least of the matchups, and I don't know what we're expecting. I mean, do you have any predictions coming into this one?
I don't. Hey, you said your best foot forward, and I was trying to figure out what a computer's foot would be.
Best tire, best line of code.
Tire, best line forward, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's been very interesting to see how the bots play from game 1 to game 2. Kind of seems dependent maybe more based on RNG than the coding itself. All the bots looking very, very strong, but let's go ahead and throw up the bracket for you guys. Apologize that that's a little bit off. Let's fix that for you real quick. So just to recap, on stream, we watched General Iroh take on Bartimaeus, sweeping in that one. Bob beating out Stardust. That was a very, very close one that Bob arguably shouldn't have won. BillyBot, who you just saw 2 games ago, they won off stream, and again winning against General Iroh, who arguably one of the better bots. QUIKHorizon winning in a sweep. QUIKHorizon winning in a sweep. Does QUIKHorizon win in a sweep here, I think, is the question that we need to be considering.
I don't know. I think it's going to come down to how well BillyBot does in this one. I think it's kind of the underdog story there, the number 5 seed knocking off the number 4, and then the number 1 there as well. QUIKHorizon, the bot we'd expect to come from the bottom half of that bracket, the number 2 seed, the one that did really well, and I mean, did beat Bob the Tomato in that tiebreaker, I guess that seeding matchup earlier on. So I think that was kind of an expected result with that extra information, but vengeance for Cheddar is the call in chat. So I think the chat's cheering for QUIKHorizon. I'm going to go with BillyBot into this final matchup.
I gotta go QUIKHorizon. It's the only bot that's had only sweeps throughout this upper bracket. Granted, coming in at the number 2 seed, the highest seed that we have now, the number 5 versus the number 5 seed BillyBot. How much does seeding really matter when it comes down to the finals? Arguably none, but I'd like to imagine it might make a difference. BillyBot has the motivation on its side, you know? Maybe BillyBot might not be the highest seed. It might be able to win here, but I'm going to give this one to QUIKHorizon.
All right, well, we got a split desk, one more. It's a best of 5 this time, so 3 games to win the series, and it's going to be really exciting to see this back and forth, see what these two sides are able to put on the table, put in on the field here. We should say on the pitch, I guess, depending on what you want to say, depending on how British you want to sound with the soccer terminology there. We can go back and forth about that as long as we'd like. And I will say, too, I mean, an interesting little naming convention thing to take away from this one. 2 of our 3, or excuse me, our 2 bots that are remaining, and 2 of the 3 bots that were in this tournament with the word bot in the name are in the grand finals.
True.
So maybe that's the secret. Maybe naming your bot with bot in it, you know, gives you that little edge there. So
right.
We'll see. I mean, it's all
the computer doesn't want you to think that it's a human playing behind it, right? The computer would rather you think that it's a computer playing behind it. But I've got the bot set up here. We're ready to go. Let's switch it off at DFH Stadium. I think that this is a Champions Field sort of situation that we are surmounting here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to click start, and we are going to get these bots going. Yeah, this is really either of these bots' game to take here. Both of them have made a very, very strong showing. Obviously, one of them had sweeps and the other one didn't. So take that as you will. But, oh, shoot, this is best of 3. This is a best of 5. Get that corrected here real quick for you guys. It's the only best of 5 of the night. So if we see a sweep, it's going to be 3 in a row for one of these spots. But Cabbage, I'm really doubting that we see a sweep.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting. BillyBot already up for some quick aerial touches there. That one looks really nice. It's going to be able to put it towards the back of the net, and BillyBot really like those touches there. Nice control, able to recover well and drop back onto the turf. So that is a beautiful start there for the blue side.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel pretty good about that 22 seconds in. Ooh, we do see a different car for QUIKHorizon. So I did switch QUIKHorizon to the orange side just because they were on the lower side of the bracket. And we do see, I have no idea what that car is. Like an ugly Marauder. Maybe an old Batmobile. I don't know if the creator is in and they can let us know about it. I do believe that BillyBot is still using Kadiza.
Is that one of the Hot Wheels cars, maybe? I don't know. There's so many different bodies from the DLC and the purchasable ones in there as well that I never quite know. Yeah, I guess that does. I can't tell if that's a Batmobile or the Hot Wheels, but regardless, a little bit one of those flatter, shorter cars that we talked about, at least shorter in vertical height, we'll say.
As we see it miss, it misses twice, not able to get back on that one, giving BillyBot the lead again. What a touch, a nice little backflip there. It's going to be on net, but BillyBot going for that boost. And there we see the bot prioritize that 12 boost, and unfortunately that puts it just a little bit out of position and allows BillyBot to score.
Yeah, and we're at it once more to see who can find their way back into this one. BillyBot, can he continue this early bit of momentum? Is this one another tight angle shot there? Might try to go for the aerial, decides against it. I don't know if that's the low amount of boost or that one. A great shot on net there. Nicely done as BillyBot able to put that one away. And BillyBot just struggling to find their way really on the defensive side, struggling in the zone so far right now, just not ready for how quick BillyBot is to get to the ball.
Yeah, you know, this is something that we saw over the fall league where the bot tends to cycle deep in net in order to fully turn around. Rather than stopping on the goal line, using drift in order to position themselves, taking a little bit tighter return. Instead, they want to conserve that momentum. They're trying not to go all the way down to 0 speed and then turn it back into something else. You see this one's going to actually work out for QUIKHorizon as BillyBot barely misses. But yeah, that really seems to be the #1 thing holding back QUIKHorizon right now. Other thing is BillyBot's midfield pressure. BillyBot is feathering boost, almost a nasty flick. Miss from QUIKHorizon. Gonna allow BillyBot 92 boost in its own net. It's conserving boost very well. And I love the way it's using air roll to try to catch the angles of the wall in the ground. So see, almost a nasty save from BillyBot, but QUIKHorizon climbing its way back into this one. Only 1 goal difference now.
And we got a quick request from the chat. You got to hit H, get those name tags back on there. We got to see who's in net, keep track of where the...
I hit H too many times. I hit it 6 times, not 5 times.
There you go. Well, that's going to do it for you. Of course, the difficulty there is name tags still missing.
Still missing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Maybe that was the one. Oh, no, still...
No,
wait, what the heck is going on here?
Nope,
nope,
that's
one
wrong.
more.
No,
there we go. That should be it, I think, finally. Yeah, there we go. Now we got the name tags back on. Thanks for sticking with us. Just always difficult. Yeah, I don't like that Rocket League. For those of you unfamiliar, in the spectator mode, you hit H to cycle through the different options you have for the HUDs, and I find it so shocking that it doesn't hold that between the games. I feel like if you enter one game like that, it should keep it like that for future games, but what do I know? I'm just a talking head.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, if I could change one thing about Rocket League, it'd be 7 things, and that is absolutely on the list there. So, BillyBot still up by 2. Definitely a commanding lead here. Nice little backflip into its own corner. Gonna land awkward, though. Instead of going for the backflip to gain boost, instead electing to just turn around and try to gain momentum that way. QUIKHorizon looking for a wave dash, not quite able to get there. BillyBot with full boost, puts 1 touch out, gonna get cut off by 2. Oh, nice little wave dash, not able to get there. QUIKHorizon, instead of going for that challenge, going all the way back. I like the aerial challenge from Billy, something that we saw over the first couple of series, but definitely something that's been lacking overall throughout the night, Cabbage.
Yeah, and BillyBot definitely able to go for a lot more offense and able to go for a lot more aggression. I feel like we see it really controlling the pace of play, definitely, pushing the issue, able to just always go for these touches. And I mean, we saw it in the corner a couple of times where QUIKHorizon had a chance to maybe go for a touch there, but just didn't jump soon enough. Is this one another chance? Is that one to go on net? No, it will actually out towards middle. Oh, it's going to go off the post once more, and BillyBot going to put it in the back of the net. The aggression we're seeing out of BillyBot, I feel like it's not giving QUIKHorizon any time to set up and not giving it any space to work with. It's just always pushing the issue, always pushing the attack, and I mean, it's evident on the scoreboard there.
I gotta agree that the aggression is one thing, but something else I just noticed there is the way that QUIKHorizon rotates out of net. So if you're a Rocket League player, you know that rotating out close to that post can be dangerous. There's a little bit of a lip there as you start to come out of net that your wheels can touch. And it can absolutely turn what you were expecting to be into a jump, into a flip, and completely throw you out of position. And so it seems like QUIKHorizon is, as we see QUIKHorizon try to go for the squishy and miss it, but QUIKHorizon really seems to be avoiding that corner post there. I don't know if that's something that the coder took into perspective when they were trying to put the bot together, but I gotta respect the squishy save.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta see. That almost looked intentional too, which would be crazy if it was. I think we've seen one squishy save all time. It was quite the moment there. I think that one was actually even a live broadcast there. So that one was quite something there. Quite surprising. Got a lot of the fans definitely getting a little hyped there. So we've got the next one is BillyBot looking for another defensive stand here, just cruising along. I mean, this one, it looks like it's going to be a really strong game 1. I think QUIKHorizon definitely having some good moments so far here, but BillyBot just playing patience when it needs to be, playing aggression when it needs to, and everything in between, really.
Yeah, absolutely. As we start to approach the final minute here, potential for... Oh, never mind. As I start to say what I was going to say. Just kidding. QUIKHorizon, 3 to go. Can absolutely come back in this one with a minute left. What a nasty pinch from BillyBot there. I'm almost curious if the coder decided to favor the pinch in hopes that, you go for a pinch. What are the odds it goes on net? There's so much space that ball can cover. If it goes on net, that just seems unlucky at that point, and I might be willing to call that one unlucky, but if you're QUIKHorizon, you're calling that a comeback. Only 3 to go, 45 seconds. BillyBot taking its time, puts a shot on net. QUIKHorizon rotates deep, gets a piece of it, tries to go back out, misses for a second time. Oh, what a cleanup.
Oh, so close there for QUIKHorizon. Just unfortunate. Drives by it a couple of times. Got a really nice touch on that first one there to put it across, but just couldn't figure out what to do next there and rotated back in. And again, it's just that slight bounce there. It feels like some of these bots just struggle so much to get the elevation. I feel like it's maybe that they're taking into account the position of the ball, but not the elevation. And I wonder if that's a big part of it too, about, if that is factored in, because if it isn't, I mean, that would explain why they're driving right at it and then just kind of act almost a little bit surprised when it goes was over top of them. One other thing I wanted to mention, we did talk about BillyBot earlier. Definitely a bot that doesn't mind own goaling, or at least doesn't really try to avoid it as much as we've seen with some of the other bots. So, the own goal not really out of character there, but able to keep the aggression going and keep the offense just absolutely cruising in this one once more.
Yeah, very true. 10 seconds left. This one is all but over. BillyBot looking for another one, not able to squeak it past the post there. Tried to go for the pinch, but unfortunately QUIKHorizon going for the bump. I love how it turned into BillyBot to shake him off, but BillyBot, more boost, more momentum. Let's see if it can carry that into game number 2 here. Again, this is a best of 5, the only best of 5 that we're going to see tonight, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a mercy rule. I know Alex was telling me prior to this that we shouldn't expect to see one, but definitely seen some pretty high-scoring games prior to today, at least in my experience watching these. It's pretty close so far. Radio Free thinking that QUIKHorizon is not going to get swept. You don't think so? Oh, nobody said that, Radio Free. Nobody, and if you think they did, it was lies and slander, and you should take that back and get out of here.
He said he was going to sweep, or they said he was going to sweep. So, but I think the biggest thing that I've noticed so far in BillyBot is I feel like it's aggression that's really well timed. It doesn't feel like it's always just hitting the ball, because we talked about that before, about seeing some bots that were just always charging straight at the ball, always going for it, and always just hitting it. It doesn't matter where it's going to go, it doesn't matter what it's going to do, just hitting the ball regardless of the situation. But I feel like BillyBot does well to not always worry about shooting it, not always worry about touching it, just sometimes being content with a touch that maybe isn't towards the net, isn't towards a really, advantageous position, able to just adapt well, put it to a spot that is useful enough, and then go from there.
Great point is to see BillyBot, 16 boost, tries to put it on, but does not get enough of it. QUIKHorizon is going to be able to get there. Put it off to the side. Now Billy on the back check, goes for the bump, mad respect, an awkward touch. Oh, but QUIKHorizon decides to go back and leave it. I definitely think that was a winnable ball. 4 boost isn't a lot, but if you're prioritizing those small pads, definitely could have scored it. Much like that shot there, QUIKHorizon barely off. Now Billy at the midfield, gonna look for a 50 here. Decides to take it low, puts the shot on net. What happened? What happened, QUIKHorizon? What are we doing here?
Yeah, I feel like QUIKHorizon is definitely programmed sometimes. If the opponent's closer to the ball, it feels like it just heads back towards the center of net, which is not a bad strategy, but I think it just sometimes gets you burned like that, because if you just stop where you were, honestly, if it just completely hit the brakes and just stopped where it was, I feel like it was going to 50 that and put it into a decent spot for itself, but unfortunately, just rotates back to that defensive positioning, and again, right there, it touches the ball, but BillyBot's just a little bit closer, and it just completely leaves it up and just runs away. So I don't quite know where that comes from, and I don't know if that's necessarily an intended behavior or just kind of a byproduct of a certain line, but it's definitely difficult right now.
Very true. And as you see QUIKHorizon immediately tie it up, something else I've noticed is QUIKHorizon rotates really deep in the net every single time. That previous goal from BillyBot definitely could have been saved if QUIKHorizon hadn't rotated so deep. But answering pretty quick immediately after has to feel pretty good too. Tied up 1-1, 3:17 to go. Another opportunity for QUIKHorizon, immediately decides to leave it. That's an awkward one. BillyBot left backwards. Not a lot of movement. We haven't seen any of these bots half flip. Oh, a nasty opportunity. QUIKHorizon going up very, very fast. Gotta respect that. Oh, a free shot though. What? What happened? QUIKHorizon had boost, didn't go back?
Yeah, that one was weird. I don't quite know why QUIKHorizon. I don't know if maybe it was calculating that one. I don't know. It was like just going too slow. I think it might have been programmed to not use the boost until it was back in its defensive zone. Maybe it doesn't want to use it until it's back in net, and that's a big thing we talk about too, is just the boost management and knowing when to use it, because we'll sometimes see bots that do just cruise around with full tanks of boost, as QUIKHorizon's going to overrun that one, can't turn around in time, and BillyBot just cruising in game 2 once again, looking so strong here as it continues to just find goal after goal.
Yeah, there we see it. There, QUIKHorizon prioritizing going back very fast, but rather than turning around at the goal line, going deep into the net, trying to create more space between it and the ball, which a very viable strategy, but not when the ball is on net and that close. Really can't be creating that much space. Is QUIKHorizon immediately capitalizing on what was ultimately an errant touch from BillyBot. BillyBot deciding to leave the boost and just an awkward flip. Not generally a position where you would flip in unless you were trying to beat the other player guaranteed, and not the touch you're looking for. As we approach the halfway point, BillyBot still in the lead by 1, still plenty of time left here. These backward touches are definitely something to keep an eye on from BillyBot. That time, not electing to backflip into it, but generally, we see BillyBot off the kickoff, go for that backflip deep into the corner, get the boost and get ball control. Now looking a little awkward, QUIKHorizon taking it slow, keeping it awkward and tying this one up.
Yeah, and really good responses here. I mean, it's we talk about momentum, but it really doesn't. There's no momentum. There really isn't that, at least besides maybe a little bit of programming based on if there's a lead or if it's behind or if it's tied or things like that. But I mean, back-to-back goals on a QUIKHorizon. Great to see, trying to force at least a single game back in its favor. And BillyBot now, does it go for more aggression here? Does it go for more opportunities? That shot off the kickoff is not going to be on frame, but can it follow it up with a good touch here off of the sit there? And that one, it does.
It does!
Oh, just, so soft. QUIKHorizon can't get around in time, and BillyBot takes a ton of time there, but it does pay off in the end.
Again, there's that deep net rotation. That really seems to be the only thing holding back QUIKHorizon. Is every single time the ball is in a scary position, offensive position compared to the net, QUIKHorizon goes deep every single time. And then there, another thing, going back immediately. You know, Cabbage, I feel like it's me on the field there. Just either playing too defensive or playing too aggressive. And neither of those two modes quite working out, but we'll see QUIKHorizon get full boost, potential turn on the ball, instead just elects to go all the way back. Gonna try to take this 50, but misses. Ball, luckily, gonna be barely off the target. Now QUIKHorizon off its own net. Unfortunately, he's gonna leave it, but the shot's wide! That is absolutely... Rule 1? Did it happen? It happened? This is Rocket League. What in the world? I don't think I've seen a Rule 1 at one of these things yet.
I don't think I have either. I think this is the first time we've seen
No,
that.
no!
They will break it. QUIKHorizon's going to sneak out of it and get himself a chance downfield. For those of you unfamiliar, just a little fun Rocket League lore, that Rule 1 is kind of listed as what we see there, of two players just going nose to nose and sitting locked there. You're supposed to hold it for the duration of that run of play, so until the next goal or until someone crashes into you. So we'll see what we've got there, but definitely going to clip of that one, use it for some future stuff. Just kind of funny to see.
That's so cool to see that both the bots have made the same decision in that scenario. You guys, we absolutely need to see Brazil coded into your bots, and we need to see Rule 1s coded into your bots. I'll be looking for it at the next competition that we go to. Bonus points for the rest of you guys. But as we approach the final 30 seconds in game number 2, this is a massive win for BillyBot to take. This puts them up by 2 as they're going to give it away and tie this up. We have not seen an overtime yet, Cabbage, and I think this might be the first one we get to see.
Yeah, and really, I mean, it's tough because I feel like you want to tell the bots to be able to play with the advantage, play with the defense. Just go back and play defensively. You don't need to go on the offense. You don't need to put pressure on there. But BillyBot just, you know, it's every fiber of its being is telling it to play aggressive, and that's what it will continue to do. Is now this one might be a chance. QUIKHorizon should be able to put this one away, and it does from range. That one, oh, BillyBot, you might be throwing the game away.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there aggressiveness on the offensive side. I almost kind of want to see more aggressiveness on the defensive side. The bots really seem to get hesitant in their own net. Not quite sure maybe when the shot's going to come or how much power is going to be on it, but BillyBot really having a more aggressive offensive style paying off for it. QUIKHorizon is ultimately ahead in this game. As you see another shot, gonna go just wide. BillyBot with an awkward flip is gonna end up in their own net, stuck here. QUIKHorizon just needs to end this one. A pinch up high, goes back fast. BillyBot up top is not gonna be able to put that one deep enough. And a tied series we have. Definitely thought BillyBot was going to end up getting ahead by 2 in this series.
Yeah, and another game where BillyBot actually outshoots QUIKHorizon there, but it doesn't matter. You know, the goals. QUIKHorizon goes 5 for 5, converts on every shot. There's a single save there on the side of QUIKHorizon to give him that edge, or give them that edge into this one. And it's really interesting too, because I feel like I don't think there's any difference between when they're playing with the lead and when they're not, but it feels like BillyBot just gets a little bit less aggressive sometimes, and that's not what it needs to do. I think it just needs to keep pressing the attack, keep pushing the offense, as that's what it's done so well. A pinch goal, potentially. What a pinch there as that one goes in. QUIKHorizon gets the lead as BillyBot just rips this off the sidewall.
Yeah, just an errant touch off to the side. Again, we saw this from BillyBot earlier, though. In their previous series, they went for that fast pinch off the sidewall that did turn into a goal from the opposing bot. So, interesting to see that BillyBot does tend to favor those pinches, even if the outcome of the pinch isn't going to be favorable. You know, I can't imagine how difficult it is to calculate those angles. Got to get the protractor out to figure out where it's going to end up there. But QUIKHorizon getting ahead immediately in game number 2 might be the edge it needs to stay ahead. As you see, low boost. QUIKHorizon going to take this one up the wall, goes for the flip into it, but a great aerial touch by BillyBot, pinching it off its own corner. It's going to turn the pressure the other way. A free shot going to tie this series up.
Yeah, and I think if BillyBot can do that, where it has possession in its own end, it can just take a long shot there. It's going to do really well. We saw it excel at that in its first series of the night that we saw earlier on against BillyBot, or excuse me, against General Iroh there, where once it was able to shoot from range, once it was able to, get the opponent into an awkward spot with low boost, it was easily able to capitalize, easily able to put it away, and another chance potentially here. Instead, just goes for a little soft touch towards its own end there. I don't know what the flip was for, but the second one, a nice flip there. And see, this is where I think BillyBot could take a page out of BillyBot. It's often you don't really go for the aerials here. You don't really go for all this fancy stuff. Just sit back on your own end. Is that one a little bit of a pogo touch there? Really weird, but BillyBot putting on a show here right now.
Mad respect. That was actually pretty cool. BillyBot balancing on its tail to just sit there and catch the nose of the ball, putting it off to the side. Ultimately, probably not the move that's going to win you games, but I appreciate from style points, BillyBot with an opportunity there, not quite able to get enough on it. Ending up a little bit awkward. QUIKHorizon's going to have an opportunity here, 100 boost, instead deciding to conserve it and puts the shot off wide. QUIKHorizon, rather than keeping the attack there, goes back towards mid, recollects. Maybe not the best of challenges there, but still trying to get back. A shot by BillyBot's going to have just enough spit on it to sneak it past the defender.
Yeah, and there's the shots from range once more. I mean, I feel like a broken record, but that's what it's going to be for a long time there. As again, it's just opportunities that find a way to go in. BillyBot doing well to continue to capitalize when it gets the chances, when it gets those openings. But now it just has to continue to hold on to this lead. I feel like the biggest thing is it needs to be careful. I feel like we've seen it be a little bit too lackadaisical in its own end with weird touches and weird bits of possession. So be smarter with those touches. That one's a great 50 there, backs up into it, and QUIKHorizon with the challenge just rips that one sky high.
You know what, Cabbage, you brought up a great point about broken records. Guys, if you have an interest in Rocket League and coding, Skillquest is the place for you. Again, everybody, you've heard me say it 3, 4, 5 times tonight. It's because I truly believe it. Skillquest is one of the best ways to learn how to code, learn a real-life skill, and also implement it into your passion that is Rocket League. Nightbot, he's been spamming. If a mod could time him out, we need him to chill out with all these links that he's dropping. QUIKHorizon's going to tie this one up, but check out the course that these people took in order to learn how to code these bots that you're seeing battle it out right now. This is the grand finals. If you have a passion for Rocket League, a passion for coding, this is a fantastic way to combine those two things and, maybe learn something not just about coding, but also about Rocket League in the process. Take a different approach to how you view the game that you love, and just a fantastic way to combine two real passions that many people share. But QUIKHorizon almost getting the lead there, not quite getting it. We're under the halfway point here, Cabbage, tied up 2-2. Do you think that this is golden goal, or do you think we're going to see a couple more?
Oh, really tight angle shot there. Both bots have had a really good opportunity these past about 15 seconds. I don't think one more is enough. I think both bots are going to find at least one more in this game, unless it turns into a very stout defensive battle here. As BillyBot, this could be a dangerous touch. Really good work there. Just settles it down off the back wall and then flips into it to put it away. Can it take the shot? No, that one's going to go really high up off the backboard there. BillyBot all the way across, maybe a shot opportunity, but lets it go too far. Now just, again, going for these touches that I don't want it to go for. Just let it be, let the ball hang out there as it kind of gets locked up, but maybe could turn, puts it back out middle, but without a teammate there, I don't think they're going to be able to do much with that one.
All high up in the corner. Here's an opportunity for QUIKHorizon to show off its defensive prowess. BillyBot actually deciding to go for the pinch, ends up in an awkward situation. Full boost, elects not to really use it. Instead, again, here we see BillyBot taking that slow corner approach, approaching its own net. Almost like the code is kind of conflicting on whether it wants to smack it across or but it's going to work out, so it can shut me up really quick there. But I keep seeing that from BillyBot, where when it ends up in its own corner, rather than definitively taking the ball fast or taking full control of it, kind of gets an awkward touch out in front. But there it's going to play out because QUIKHorizon, unfortunately, a little awkward in its positioning and spacing there.
Yeah, and the bounce shot there, that's a big thing we talk about, the elevation. I feel like BillyBot has not done that too much. I mean, we sometimes see bots that, I mean, that's the thing. For those of you that don't play Rocket League, a big difference there, if you jump into the ball, so you're seeing that a lot of times BillyBot will jump once and then dash forward. That's kind of the double jump forward will get that kind of a dash into the ball like we see right there, and doesn't get as much elevation. But if you just drive straight into the ball, you almost always get at least a little bit of height on it. So interesting to see, because I feel like that's what we've seen before with some other bots, is they're always taking shots that have some elevation. But in this case, BillyBot just not getting much elevation except for these last two shots that have finally gotten off the ground, and it's a big part of what allows you to beat some of these other bots.
Yeah, I will really see BillyBot kind of run away with it here at this point. 20 seconds left, 4-2. This is going to put QUIKHorizon into a do or die situation. QUIKHorizon will have to win 2, which earlier tonight was a reverse sweep. Obviously, it's the first series that we're seeing that it won't be a reverse sweep, but BillyBot, 10 seconds left, taking it into its own corner. Really just needs to control it. QUIKHorizon going too fast, going to put himself out of position. We are going to game number 4 here, and this is BillyBot's to run away with. Really looking to see how it's going to perform here. QUIKHorizon's defense hasn't been the greatest, but neither has BillyBot's. Like you mentioned, Cabbage, this has definitely been an offensive series.
Yeah, and once again, we just see actually fewer shots. I think our fewest shot total in this series, with both bots tallying 5 in this one. So offense, but again, a little bit more tapered. And for once, actually, too, we see Billy posting a save as well. So good to see that both bots getting some defensive games mixed in with their offensive chances. And in this one now, it's just on to BillyBot. Can they finish here in game number 4? Does QUIKHorizon force us all the way to that final game? I think it's really to come down to if QUIKHorizon can put themselves in a good spot. Right there, they do. We see BillyBot just making a mistake again. It's going for touches when it doesn't need to. It needs to take a page out of the book of QUIKHorizon and just play defense. Just go back to your net there and wait. Or if you're going to go for the touch, take it from in the direction of the opponent's net.
I gotta agree with you on that one. BillyBot's going for stuff where maybe if it could wave dash into a proper position, it would be able to get its car angled the right way in order to re-challenge the ball, but it just isn't doing that. Instead, it's just kind of jumping, throwing itself at the ball. I do gotta respect the touch towards your own backboard. Major confidence there from BillyBot, now taking the ball in its own turn. There it is again. Leaves the boost, goes to the ball, ends up awkward, but gets the 50 there to put it out to the side.
Yeah, maybe a chance for a shot there. That one does look good. Is it going to find its way to the inside of the post?
It is!
It does. Yes, it does. BillyBot, what a shot. That one was beautiful to pinch to that far wall and then just rips it the length of the field there. Wow. That's nice. That
was a great shot from BillyBot. And again, looking a little bit awkward on its own wall, in its own defense, but QUIKHorizon also not positioning the greatest and not able to capitalize on that awkwardness from BillyBot. Now Billy, well boost, goes to the pinch. Is it on its own net? No, it's not, but QUIKHorizon's not quite able to capitalize on it. Mad respect for the pitches coming out from BillyBot.
as this one might be another chance here once more. QUIKHorizon going to clean from range, but will miss the frame on that one. Billy, can they clear it? It should be off to the wall, should be into a fine spot for now. Nice little sideball touch there out of QUIKHorizon. Put it out towards the middle. Doesn't decide to take that second shot, though. I think I'm a little bit spooked. I think that it's, again, that code coming back that we saw earlier where it just notices that BillyBot is closer and decides to run back on defense instead of pressing the issue.
See BillyBot full boost going into its own corner. Tries to go for the pinch. Maybe not. Maybe that was an intent with reset. But gonna get control of the ball nonetheless. Ooh, I love the half flip. QUIKHorizon ripping this one barely off, and a fantastic touch there. But a great recovery by BillyBot to put that one off to the side. Now Billy grabs the full boost again, going into its own corner, gets both of them, taking it around town. Looks for another one. Awkward flip. This is an opportunity for QUIKHorizon. Awkward touch by Billy, but QUIKHorizon was already up in the air. Shot just off the net. Incredibly close opportunity. Now Billy. Low boost, gets the touch. QUIKHorizon, it's gonna. Was that the backwards pinch? It was on. What a touch from QUIKHorizon.
Oh my goodness, some crazy touches here right now. Both bots getting some nuts pinches as for the second, looks like BillyBot's stuck in their own net. This one might be into a dangerous position. Comes out of the net. Great touch there as well. Not sure if that's quite as intentional as we want it to be. And now a shot from range as well. BillyBot's going to take the lead here with that one. Just sits on defense, finally plays some defense and waits back for a possession touch and gets a beautiful shot because of it. So, I mean, if BillyBot even just does 10% of that the rest of this game, should be in a spot to take the championship right now.
Yeah, it's those long-range shots. We've kind of been harping on it all night, but really the difference maker here. And, you know, even though BillyBot has probably been a little bit more awkward on defense, you see, eventually that comes out now. That touch is going to leave it out towards center. Goes missing. QUIKHorizon is going to capitalize. Exactly like I was bringing up. BillyBot looking awkward on defense. QUIKHorizon is not capitalizing on that awkwardness every time. And BillyBot really seems to be taking every opportunity that they have for those long shots to get it on net. If QUIKHorizon isn't already back, BillyBot is going to have that shot, and it's going to score 90% of the time, or so it seems so far. And now it's tied up under halfway. QUIKHorizon with the return. It's just off. 7 boosts left. It's going to grab the baby for 12. Can it pinch it in? It can!
And QUIKHorizon, what a resurgence here. A beautiful second shot here, and that one in the back of the net. I mean, it's great to see. It's such a surprising back and forth. You would not expect this. Usually with these bot battles, it's one bot just absolutely cruising to victory, and then the other side is finding maybe a consolation goal, there's an own goal, something like that. But this is these two bots feeling like they're both just getting moments of absolute confidence and then moments of just sheer panic, and it's so funny to see the back and forth and see what that looks like.
I love the way that BillyBot goes for its kickoffs, where it seems to almost position itself every time as we're going to see a free goal coming up for QUIKHorizon. But I love the way that BillyBot positions itself off the kickoffs, where even if it lands backwards, it's in a spot to be able to backflip into the ball or keep the challenge going, or, you know, turn that momentum going somewhere else. But that is going to go QUIKHorizon's way. And with 1:44 left, this is QUIKHorizon's to run away with. Now, BillyBot, arguably the better performer so far throughout this series. You know, Cabbage, I just don't know if it's going to be able to keep up, and I think we might see a Game 5 here.
Yeah, I think unless BillyBot's going to be able to find that offensive prowess that we saw early on, I think this one should be done and dusted. QUIKHorizon does such a good defensive spot. This one, a screamer, reads that one off the corner. It's a bad pinch there. It's a great pass out of BillyBot, but not what you want to see. 118 kph behind that one. Absolute burner.
You know, mad respect for BillyBot. Again, going for that pinch off its corner wall. That's a high skill thing to go for. If you're able to smoke that ball across your own net, there's really not much that your opponent can do about it. But BillyBot getting cut awkward. QUIKHorizon not able to capitalize. Can it get the double? It cannot. Ball stop the net. Billy's just going to wait for it. Is it going to work out for it? No boost. Gets one touch. Doesn't flip quite for the second one. Instead goes for style points. Great job there, BillyBot. Way to get the goal.
All right, minute 6. So I guess there's still a chance here. I mean, it's going to take a lot out of BillyBot and some mistakes probably out of QUIKHorizon. That's the first one there. Just misses both shot opportunities there and then lets it slowly roll back into the midfield. So maybe something off the kickoff here. BillyBot can get a nice touch there. Instead, it's going to go back out towards the middle of QUIKHorizon. I just would love to see them push the attack there don't go back on your defensive zone, as that's what ends up causing some issues. As once more, BillyBot, dangerous touch out towards middle, goes out for the save, but can't get in front of it. And right now, it feels like BillyBot just keeps on hurting itself, keeps on putting it back into a really bad spot. And it's gonna pay for it. It's gonna lose game 4, plain and simple.
Yeah, those corner pinches really not working. I mean, the pinches in general haven't been quite working out for BillyBot. Seems like when it goes for a pinch, it's almost targeting its own net more than is the opponent's side. But again, Billy's gonna end up in an awkward position. Oh, but gets there just in time to cut off QUIKHorizon. 40 seconds left here in game number 4. QUIKHorizon goes for the shot, and a great angle there. That is essentially going to tie this one up. Up by 4, 38 seconds left. I don't think that we've seen dominance from either of these bots that would be required for BillyBot to gain enough ground in this game. Just to even try to have a chance at bringing it back. So as this one starts to wrap up, we've definitely seen some back and forth. Really thought that BillyBotJr was going to wrap this one up. Shout out both these guys having bot in their name and making me say the word so much it has lost all meaning inside of my head. As BillyBotJr is going to score that one, shut me up, put this back within 3, potential for a comeback.
Yeah, really, really low potential. I think it's going to take a lot of a handful of really nice kickoffs or something there. I think the biggest thing it comes down to in game number 5 is BillyBot able to get lucky and find itself in positions that don't kind of trigger the code loop that sends it into kind of that own goal precedence, you know, just setting it up into an awkward spot is maybe...
Oh, what a double!
They say this one is going to score off the post. That one's a great shot there. And yeah, this is still going. I mean... there's a chance. A really nice kickoff and then a second one, and BillyBot could find its way back into this.
Yeah, you know what? Clip that, remove the score. Nobody needs to see that. That was a nasty goal. A great double tap coming out from the blue side. BillyBot with the backflip. That's going to be on net. QUIKHorizon got caught awkward. Is it enough? QUIKHorizon goes deep in the net. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. What are we doing here? What's happening? A 1-goal game now. 20 seconds ago, this was a 3-goal game, and now it's down to 1. Cabbage.
We might see this thing actually end up on the line at 0 seconds. That goal was exactly 8 seconds, and then we had 16 to go before that shot. So what do we have here? That one's going to bounce out towards the middle. BillyBot into an awkward spot. I don't think they're going to be able to convert on this one. It'd have to be an absolute miracle of a shot. Maybe the pinch from its own end. It will go for the pinch, but that one's going to bounce into the wrong direction and made it interesting. That looked like it was going to be 7-3. I had 7-3 written down on my sheet here off the side, and then BillyBot decided to make that interesting. I mean, crazy scenes there at the end. And in this one, interesting to see that the side of Billy actually getting outshot for the first time in this one. It's the defense that wins out on the side of Cool, and then just some explosive offense there to put it over the line. And it is game number 5, Champions Field once more to decide who wins this matchup. And I mean, it's going to be a great win, deserving victor either way, and I don't really know who's going to take on this one when it's all said and done.
You know, whoever predicted in chat earlier saying that this is the tightest finals that we're ever going to see, they were absolutely right. This is going to be close. QUIKHorizon immediately going up here, but you know, we kind of talked earlier about how kickoffs haven't been as much of a deciding factor as they have been in previous competitions. This series, it definitely has had more weight. BillyBot really is able to capitalize on those, on the kickoffs, where see QUIKHorizon immediately deciding to go all the way back, versus where BillyBot looks for boost, tries to stay close to the ball, and then decide where to go. But where it falls apart is where BillyBot goes to the corner. Wait, Mercy? Are we seeing some bot Mercy coming out on the side of BillyBot?
Oh no, that is absolute disaster there for the side of QUIKHorizon. Had the shot, had the chance for the dagger to start off 2-0, but instead just pulls away, just decides against it. I don't know what would tell you to do that. I don't think I've ever seen a bot just decide to go complete 180 when they've got a chance to shoot on net. I don't know. It must be something to do with BillyBot is approaching the ball or something of that nature, because that is just the most odd behavior for that bot to pull out in that moment.
Definitely awkward there, but respect. Game knows game. You gotta love it. It's QUIKHorizon goes for a tight angle shot. Is it enough? Ball is not quite arching inside the net. Incredibly close opportunity there. Aether, I gotta agree, Cheese would have won if he's there, but Cheese isn't here. BillyBot's here to go ahead by 1. Just barely a minute past, Cabbage, and we have 3 goals scored.
Yeah, and QUIKHorizon, again, just an opportunity that was oh so close moments ago, and then it turns into absolute heartbreak on the defensive side with a goal passed on their side. So, I mean, BillyBot, it's going to be interesting. The real thing I would love to see is if BillyBot could get the code of the kickoffs from someone like General Iroh. I think that would be such a huge benefit for this bot,
like
cleaning that up and then cleaning up the defensive touches. Just stop going for these touches towards their own net. At least does well to recover that one and get a second touch there to put it off to the far wall away from the kind of danger zone, that crease out front, but still just needs to find a little bit more of this magic. I think it needs a couple more goals and open run. This one could be the first one. Almost the squishy save there on a QUIKHorizon, but doesn't connect, and BillyBot makes it 3 now.
3-3-3-1-1 for those of you guys that pay too much attention to the numbers at the top of the scoreboard. Love to see it. You know, last game it looked like it was going to be a blowout. It turned out not to be a blowout. It's what's very interesting is the way that the strengths and the weaknesses show each other in these bots. There's not really much middle ground. It really seems to be coming down to if the bot does something really good and it's in the position to do that thing, it's going to do it. But if it's in the position where it doesn't do that thing good, where is the other bot? Is it there? Is it not there? How is this back and forth going to work out as this wild ping pong match continues to play? 2 minutes gone, 2-goal deficit for QUIKHorizon. Billy now in its own corner, puts it to the side, gonna grab that full boost, gonna leave that full boost. Interesting decision there. Now trying to cycle back. QUIKHorizon has boost. Can it turn this into a net? A great touch. Nice little double tap off its own clip there. Goes too fast. Billy with no boost. Will the patience play off? Still being patient. No, it's too patient. Unfortunate. So we hit the halfway point, Cabbage. That was, wait, okay, well, all right. Now, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, you kind of called that one a little bit too early. The patience didn't pay off in the first attempt, but BillyBot, we've seen it do that before, where QUIKHorizon just goes to the center of the net instead of challenging that ball, and it gives so much space for BillyBot to work with that they can wait for the ball to come off from the wall and then just take that tight angle shot, nice and easy there. And it's what we see once more. And I gotta say, big credit to BillyBot, because twice in this one now, it's been able to do just have really nice touches that are on its own side, a really nice cross net save, and then another one that just touched it all the way across the range there. But we'll have to see. I feel like for BillyBot, it's doing all the right things in this final game and finding all the opportunities it needs. And actually, as I say that, QUIKHorizon's gonna score one for Rage as well. Just, oh man, we're just caster cursing left, right, and center tonight.
You know, I was agreeing with you all the way up until the end there. I thought that I was like, wow, BillyBot's gonna conserve their boost. They're gonna wait until the right moment to get just enough speed to get that ball past their opponent, and QUIKHorizon's there to just send it back the other way. I mean, 2 minutes left, 2-goal deficit. I feel like, again, a broken record. Speaking of, sign up for Skillquest to learn how to code. But so close, BillyBot not able to turn that one on the net. Now in the opposing corner, doesn't quite go for the pinch. Instead elects to hit it back. I have no idea where QUIKHorizon's at right now. Just not challenging that ball whatsoever, but here's an opportunity. Just kidding. QUIKHorizon decides to wait. Oh, tries to go on that one, but not quite able to. I don't think any bumps or demos coming out in this series. I believe in the last couple of series we saw tonight, we saw at least a couple of bumps. No demos tonight, but at least the bots recognizing where the other car was and trying to get them out of the way. None so far.
Real quick, now that I'm noticing this, I honestly wonder if BillyBot is coded for only one side of the field. I wonder if it was only ever like challenged or tested on the orange side, because I feel like it makes defensive touches really well on the orange side of the field, where it goes for those pinches back towards the midline, whereas in the blue side it just goes for the it goes for the touches towards the net. I don't know about that. It might just be a weird quirk of the programming, and something of where it just goes for the pinch. It just happens to put itself in a little bit of a wrong spot, but just weird touches. I think it knows where it's trying to shoot, but the pinches just don't quite align with what we'd expect.
And not even just pinches. Right there, we saw BillyBot went for a wave dash on its own corner, and that was what put the ball to. As we see a nasty shot to tie this up. Under a minute left, all tied up. But yeah, I gotta agree. BillyBot seems to be going for whatever touch gets the most speed on the ball. regardless of where it's sitting at, especially in its own half. And tied up under a minute to go here, Freight. What this series, man.
Yeah, it's delivering. I wasn't sure what to expect tonight. I wasn't sure what bots we were seeing, who we were seeing, what that would look like. But QUIKHorizon, just an absolute ripper from the corner once more, continuing its strong run of play here. As this one going to be into a dangerous spot, and again we see it just go for the defensive rotation there. BillyBot now maybe a chance on the breakaway. Going to use a lot of boost to get down the field. BillyBot tight angle shot. No, it's going to miss as well. Does this give an opportunity for QUIKHorizon to maybe recover? No, it's going to be BillyBot as the first one there once more, and the aggression, it's just causing absolute chaos right now, but BillyBot doing okay. Don't love the jump. Maybe a chance here. QUIKHorizon's gonna put it away, and that's gonna be the lead with under 20 to go here.
The tight angle shots from QUIKHorizon are just too much. It is far too much. I have to imagine that every single person watching this wishes that they could do that consistently, regardless of your skill level. Those are such incredible, such nasty shots to have down consistently. But as we approach 15 seconds left, this is far from over. We've seen the last game was incredibly tight, back and forth. BillyBot ends up awkward. QUIKHorizon putting it towards his own net. A little bit ballsy, but it's going to be off. Luckily, 12 boost, ends up awkward. No boost from BillyBot. Just going to leave it. He's just going to leave it. And we are going to end this. No Game 5 OT, but no complaints from me, Cabbage. That was incredibly close.
Yeah, and for BillyBot, I feel like the bot just sits too often sits beneath the ball and doesn't go for the rotation. I feel like if it went back to net off that final kickoff, it could have had a chance to clear it downfield, just bang something on net, but instead plays the aggression, plays really close to the ball there, doesn't get a touch, and then QUIKHorizon able to put it into a decent enough spot. Definitely dangerous, but at least either calculated or lucky enough to put it away on the far side, and comes away with the victory there. So it's a 5-game series. It goes back and forth. We see 2 of those games, actually 3 of those games, decided by just a single goal. The only game that really got out of hand was that opening game where BillyBot won 7-3 with 11-2 in shots there. Besides that, so close, so back and forth, and really a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to see just how close this was. I think this is the first time I've seen a championship go the distance. I don't think I've seen a best of 5 actually go to 5 between 2 bots before. I think we've seen a 3-1, but to go the full distance and to feel like there really isn't a clear best bot, I mean, besides what comes out of the top, I think it's really exciting, really cool to see, and honestly just lucky to get to watch it once more.
Absolutely. I mean, the back and forth throughout that series was super cool. Ultimately, QUIKHorizon going to take it down. The only bot to go 2-0 back-to-back matches in their round 1 in their semifinals is going to take it in game number 5 versus BillyBotJr. Shout out to everybody that competed tonight. I mean, so much stuff went into this in the background, not just from us as staff, but to all of you guys for putting in the work, learning how to code, figuring out how to make this sort of stuff happen. It's super cool to see all that work kind of pay off and turn into an event like this. But yeah, I mean, that was our final match of the night. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Again, thank you to everybody that put the time in order to allow us to have something to even stream tonight. Super cool to see all this stuff happen. Make sure that you check out the links that Nightbot was spamming. Again, we'll get him banned the next time he does that. But those are some really useful links if you're interested in learning how to code, or you're curious about just the community itself. You don't necessarily even need to be involved in Skillquest as somebody that's learning the course. The Discord is a great space to learn how to code bots and to work with other people who have experience. Python, C#, just a ton of working professional students, people with different varying levels of experience in this sort of stuff, all coming together to make this sort of community work, and it's super cool to see. Coming up, it's exciting to announce actually, the first Skillquest monthly news log is now live. If there's somebody in chat that can post that link, if not, I will get it posted in just a second here. But if you guys participated in this tournament, this is not the end for your bots. Continue to work on it. Continue to refine them. Flaming, I know I saw you in the chat talking about how you just want to work on your bot. Do that. You absolutely do that, because there are more competitions coming out. Potentially, it sounds like we've got some RLBot weeklies that they're planning on working on developing and getting started here. Keep an eye out on the Discord, though. That is the #1 way to get involved, even if you're not sure about joining the community or committing to learning and, you know, taking Skillquest on as a course. At least join the community. That way, if you ever change your mind, you're in a spot that has all of your resources nice and tidied up for you guys. It's a very solid community. So, Cabbage, thank you a ton for joining me here tonight. That was way more hype than I ever could have imagined. But to everybody else, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys at the next competition, I sure hope. So keep learning how to code, keep it up with Rocket League. We'll catch you on the flip side.